Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Turning Point podcast. This is the best podcast on the internet. There is no disputes there. I will not hear any of it. My name is Ben, and I am joined here once again by Lewin. How are we doing, my friend?
Going good. How are you?
Yeah, just staying at home.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, if you're all in isolation, this is going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours of glorious content for you. But we got a couple of firsts, Lewin, this episode.
Yeah.
We have our first gaming episode this week. We're going to be talking about Resident Evil, which seems very topical almost. But then we also have our very first guest on this week, which is exciting. So, he has a YouTube channel. He makes videos about horror games. You guys know him as Sunderland, but I know him as Tom. Welcome, Tom. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
How you doing?
I didn't know I was the first ever guest. That is a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Even though I've told you like 3 times.
Oh,
Just
wow. Okay. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, but that's exciting. But yeah, so you have a YouTube channel. You focus mainly on horror content.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I do.
That is exactly what you do. We're going to talk about that in a little sec because I have some questions.
Oh God.
Oh,
okay.
I don't really.
I have many answers.
Okay, that sounds good. But this isn't your channel now. Sunderland isn't your first attempt at YouTube. You've done many attempts at YouTube, making all sorts of different content.
I hate that you know that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yes, I have. Most certainly have done that, and it's always been shit.
Well, with that kind of attitude, of course it is.
Exactly. But yeah, I just always try to make whatever the fuck, and then I decided, screw it, I want to do horror stuff because I like me horror, and did it. And
yeah,
it's been going good.
It has been going good. In fact, you're not even gonna lie here. You're part of the inspiration that kind of got me back into making content again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's really because I was I was watching because I've been kind of tracking your channel because like I never post on Twitter or do anything on Twitter, but I do follow you on Twitter, and I have kind of been following your kind of journey the past. Let me just check how long it's been.
6 months, I think. Nearly.
Well, since your
9
first
months?
video, 10 months.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I've been kind of following your journey. So and then I was like, wow, you're like, you're just persistent at it, and then eventually your channel just fucking blew up. Well, you got a video that blew up anyway, and then that kind of really hit your subscribers, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, you kind of got me back in because I just said to myself the past 2 years, I'm just like, I'm doing uni, I don't have time for it, and I just haven't bothered doing it. And then one day I realized it's been like a full year.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make a video that I was going to make 2 years ago, and I've made it now, and it's up, and, we're doing a podcast. We're doing all sorts of things. It's great. I'm like...
You got to do it for the love, I've found. You can't just be like, I'm just going to do it for the sake of it. Like, you have to really enjoy it.
No, I was watching a lot of my old gaming content recently.
Like the Rainbow Six...
The Rainbow Six Siege videos, the GTA videos. Lewin remembers those.
I'd hope so. I think I was a part of them.
You were? Oh, God.
I was never a part of them, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. All those videos were actually before you and I met.
Yeah, no.
So it was like...
Perfect timing.
Oh, I was watching one yesterday, and I actually sent the people of the podcast listening don't know who this is, but I sent a clip to Bwendel, and I was like, I can't believe how trashy the content I used to make was, and then I had like this really obnoxious fucking intro to every video, and I just played a clip of that, and I was like, why did I think this was a good idea?
Was it like the loud music and shit?
Yeah, it was like the loud music and the little graphic comes up and then the title appears and then there's like the waveforms there for the music and I'm like, ugh, it's disgusting.
Beautiful.
yuck. So I don't do that anymore. In fact,
Just feel better that like some people still to this day do that. So
yeah,
you've improved a lot.
I know I've changed a lot. Like now I barely even like I'm so half-assed. You know how like or at the end you always like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of shit. I half-assed that. I'm like, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
At this point, I think everyone knows how YouTube works,
Yeah, it's all
but
fucked.
I still do it
It's all
because
fucked.
yeah, it's all fucked. It's
Yeah.
basically fucked.
Lewin doesn't have a YouTube channel.
I feel a lot of pressure right now.
Get out.
All
You
right,
need to
guys.
you need to join. Nah, I'm joking. You can do what you want.
I think podcasting's enough. God, I couldn't do both. It would drive me insane.
Well, the reason why this podcast exists is because there's things I want to make regular content. Like this podcast is actually part of my production company, and like my overall vision for my production company is to be making not just making short films or making like specializing in post production for stuff. It's more that's more the business end of things. It's more I want to create content across multiple mediums. So that's why we have a podcast, and that's the whole point. And the idea is hopefully, we can do a regular podcast, we get some people on board, and we can, make movies and shit. I don't know.
No, do it.
I don't really know.
Do whatever the fuck.
Right now,
Doesn't matter.
Right now,
Don't need a plan.
Yeah, right now my business is literally this podcast for the creative side of things, and any freelance work I do. That's basically my business right now. But eventually, the idea is to grow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all fun and games. But speaking of the podcast, the world's kind of shit at the moment.
No, don't.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. Being told to stay at home and isolate yourself, my life hasn't changed that much, really. It's basically the same as what it was before, except now I have a lot less work hours, and also my uni has cancelled classes. So apart from that, it's all good. But we thought we could escape from everything here on the podcast, but it turns out COVID-19 has affected the podcast as well. So basically, moving forward from the last episode onwards, at least for the foreseeable future, the podcast will only be available on YouTube. It won't be available on Spotify or any other podcast services, because the podcasting platform, I need to pay them money that I don't have to keep the podcast up. So unfortunately, until I can pay that, it means that all of the episodes of the podcast are going to be taken down from April 1st. So you won't be able to access anything. So moving forward, it's just going to be on YouTube until I can pay the subscription. Because originally I used the free version of the account for the podcast hosting service. And then I did the 30-day trial of the full version once I reached the limitations of the free version, and then that's all run out, and it's picked a great time to do it because my income, I should say, has been significantly decreased, and I can't really afford to pay for it. So I'm looking into alternatives, but as of now, the podcast will only be available on YouTube and nowhere else moving forward. Until I fix it. But it's also fucked up literally, and we talked about this briefly in the last episode, but it's fucked up literally everything. I had episodes of the podcast planned until June, and all of those have been fucked up now because of all the movie releases being delayed and everything like that. So Lewin and I, we've had a discussion, and we've got a few we've come up with some alternative topics for episodes, so I'm just going to run through them now. These aren't in any particular order. They might be they could just be in any order, but our next episode was originally going to be No Time to Die. That got pushed back, so we're going to be doing our first Edgar Wright episode of the year, which is going to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. We'll also be discussing Resistance, and also doing Resident Evil 3 impressions as well. So that's exciting. Tom, we decided to do Edgar Wright films this year, throughout the year, because
good decision.
It is, because he's got a new film coming out later in the year.
We're gonna ramp all this up, and then we're gonna get to the time that's meant to release, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, sorry, dog, that's next year now." And we're like,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. At this stage, as of recording right now, Edgar Wright has a new film coming out this year. We'll see what happens. But we thought we'd go through the Edgar Wright films because they're fucking amazing. So our first one's going to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So we're doing that next episode. After that, we have, not in any particular order, we'll be doing an episode on The Mandalorian. We'll catch up on that and talk about that. Definitely going to do Last of Us because Last of Us 2 is still set to come out. We're going to do Resident Evil 3 at some point there. We'll do a proper Resi 3 review, whatever. And we're also going to talk about our favourite childhood games at some point.
And I know a lot of you are still waiting for it. We can't fit it in this episode, but eventually, sometime in the 1,000 years this takes to film, we will have Joker.
Yeah, we'll review Joker eventually. We'll review Our Timeless Child.
My review of the Joker is I liked it until it was a Batman movie.
Alright, guys, well, there you go. You've got the closest you'll
Well, that's it.
We're
That's
done.
it. That's our Joker review. Done.
You're welcome. That was very complicated, but I'm glad I got it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had this running joke for the past, since we started, that we will review Joker because we've put it on the plan for each episode and never gotten to it. So there we go. That's our Joker review. It's done. But yeah, so the upcoming episodes, of course, all that is subject to change. If we have any better ideas or if, things change and something comes out worth talking about, we'll do that. We were going to do a Black Widow episode, which was, of course, delayed like everything else. However, there's no release date for Black Widow at all, which is odd, considering everything else that's been delayed has new release dates, but Black Widow doesn't. So, depending on if Black Widow still comes out, we'll have a Black Widow video in there somewhere as well. But yeah, that's what's coming up. That's just a little podcast update thing. But before we get into Resident Evil, there's a YouTube channel. We've already mentioned it, Sunderland. He has some Resident Evil reviews there. A couple of them. We've got Resident Evil 2, we've got Resident Evil 1, among other things. We've got something about rejected Resident Evil 2 remake marketing proposals. So after this episode, if you want more Resi conversation, then you can head on over there. The link will be in the description to this, of course. But, Tom, tell me a bit about your channel.
Okay. Yeah, shit. I was expecting this and didn't have an answer prepared. Yeah, it's just a channel about everything horror. It started off as games, but I'm going to start branching out into other things. But yeah, I just love horror and everything about it, so I just kind of wanted to share that, and people seem to like it. So
they seem to be digging it. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a lot of the videos. I've seen the Days Gone one. I've seen the Doom 3 one. What else did I watch? I did watch. I started watching your. Where is it? I'm not gonna watch your Resident Evil 2 one yet until I finished the remake.
Yeah, like I don't go into spoilers or anything like that.
I'm still just gonna play it safe. And I did watch a bit of your Resident Evil 1. It's actually in my watch later list to finish it at some point. But I'm falling behind on YouTube videos in general. Like so many channels I'm falling behind on because, I just fucking time, man.
There's no excuse to fall behind on my one though, so.
Yeah, well, I've got them all open here. So once we're done recording, we'll go on a binge.
Oh, please do give me that sweet ad revenue.
Now, well, I actually have to go. I have to go brave the shopping center first because I need to go find food, and we'll see what kind of food they have. I'm expecting.
My answer's probably none.
Yeah, I'm expecting to go, and I'm just going to grab whatever's available. Be like, oh. There's Pringles. I guess that's dinner tonight.
Yep, that's what it's fucking been like.
I've still got toilet paper though.
Yeah, same. So I'm upset.
How you going with toilet paper, Lewin?
I'm going good. We're all set here.
Okay,
We've
sweet.
just marked ourselves to be fucking robbed, so that's good.
True. Yeah. So your channel. So obviously, yeah, it's all horror focused, but you also have this series continuing series you've been doing for a while now called cancelled horror games, where you talk about exactly what the title says, cancelled horror games.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Basically, I just got bored one night and was trolling the internet, as one is known to do, and yeah, I just came up with this idea of like looking into like, oh, what kind of horror games have never seen the light of day, and I don't know, a lot of them sounded really super, like really interesting. So I decided to kind of share these depressing facts with the world,
Nice.
showing people like, hey, you can't have nice things, so here's a 10-minute video about something you want.
Something
Sucked in.
something you want that you're never gonna see.
Yeah, basically. But I don't know. It's just like these games go to die, like once they're cancelled. So I thought I'd just
Yeah.
kind of bring them back a little bit. And yeah, there's been some super interesting ones. There's heaps more too
Yeah.
that I plan on doing.
I was gonna ask like how much more you got to do, because like there'd be a heap, I'm assuming.
There is a heap, but there's a finite amount too.
Yeah.
So, and it also depends on, how much information is available about them, and a lot have a fair amount, but there's also a large amount that just have bugger all, really. So the series won't go forever, but at least I have some sort of a well, and then I can just like start doing beta videos and stuff like that to kind of branch off. But for now, there's enough.
Yeah, you got some a video all about Japan Silent Hill stuff. So is there any more of that kind of content coming, do you think?
Yeah, I also interested in region exclusive stuff. So I don't know. It just depends again, like
What's
how much
available?
there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Resident Evil will be something to do eventually, but not for a while because. Yeah, I've done a lot of Resident Evil stuff lately.
I mean, you picked a good time to jump on the Resident Evil stuff, though. I mean, it's very topical, so...
I know, and that's why I have, like, my next video is Resident Evil 3, the original review, and I'm like, god damn, I have to get this done before the new one's out.
Yeah.
So I have, like, a very strict time limit.
I do have a question, and this is gonna be a bit... just because I've lived with you for a few years, so I know how this question's gonna hit you. But are you ever gonna do a video on Silent Hill?
Yes, I will, but I'm scared. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's such a monumental task,
Yeah.
especially talking about like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm good enough yet to get to them.
Yeah.
But obviously I plan to because the fucking channel's named after something from Silent Hill. So,
I was gonna ask you
will
what
get
the
to it.
name came from, but you just answered that for me because I don't obviously play Silent Hill. Like, I've never played it, so I know nothing about it.
so James Sunderland is the main character in Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was like, I don't even like him that much, but it's like a name that, like, if you know horror games, you're like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah. So they see it and they go, right, okay, and then they click on the channel and you just see all like Resident Evil and shit, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, it's complete opposite of what you want. Like, there's one Silent Hill fucking video I've done.
Oh, you played Silent Hill, Lewin?
I've played 10 minutes of the first one. It's on my PS3. One day I'll play more.
It's very good. Very good for a game that's that old.
It's definitely interesting so far.
So the only thing I know about Silent Hill is the fact that one got cancelled, but the demo was really good.
Good old Pete.
Yeah, BT.
Yeah. The only other thing I know about Silent Hill is pretty sure someone recreated either part of one of the games, or they just made like a Silent Hill themed thingy in the classic Tomb Raider level editor. Because that's like you can make like custom levels and stuff like that, like back in like the old school Tomb Raider days. And someone made like a Silent Hill thingy at some point. It's on the Tomb Raider level editor website. I was going to share it with you, but
yeah, actually do that. That sounds fucking cool.
I'll see if I can find it again and I'll share it with you, because cool thing about the level editor stuff for Tomb Raider is you don't actually need a Tomb Raider game to play them. So you just download the actual level. You don't need Tomb Raider level editor either. You just download the thing and then you just click on the Tomb Raider 4 exe file and it just loads it up. And then it's whatever assets are there. So that's really cool. But yeah, that's the only other thing I know about Silent Hill. I know nothing.
You know, it is a level in Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Well,
That's good.
it's
That's
a
fine.
fan
That's
made
enough.
level in Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
When it comes to Tomb Raider, though, I can tell you all of the things because I
I
know
know.
things.
I'm very well aware.
Yeah. I think everyone's aware at this point.
Yes, everyone's aware of your love for Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I've got my Tomb Raider shrine right behind me right now, so
Oh god, that friggin' thing.
yeah. I haven't gotten any new stuff since we lived together because, money, but
Yeah,
it
well,
looks
all of
good.
that shit's expensive as hell.
It is, yeah. I recently saw the worst Tomb Raider game, Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, and by the way, it's my favorite Tomb Raider game, but it is objectively the worst one. I saw a collector's edition for that, which had so much fucking shit that came with it, and I was like, tried to track it down, and I can't find it anywhere, and I'm like, I really want it. It looks so cool. And it's my favorite Tomb Raider game as well, so it's like, oh.
Well, you got to get it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing, because remember back when we were living together, I don't know if I told you about this, Lauren, but I was going to do a video on Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness once.
Yeah.
I played it, recorded it, I still have the footage, so it's still there to make. I'm sure Tom probably heard me getting fucking annoyed at how shit the actual game is. But I got through it. It was my first time actually completing the game because I could never complete it before just because it pissed me off so much. And weird thing now is years later, it's actually my favorite Tomb Raider game.
Yeah, it's not usually how that story goes.
I know, it's weird. It's my favorite Tomb Raider game because it has such a good fucking story and I love the aesthetics of it. Like, if I've ever referred to Emo Lara before, it's the Lara Croft from Angel of Darkness. Emo Lara is the best Lara. She is like Jill. She is so sassy. She doesn't take anyone's shit. Like in I put a clip of her in my recent video, and like in the clip she's like talking to this guy and the guy's like doesn't want to help her, and she's like a homeless guy or whatever he is. I don't even know if he's homeless, I can't remember, but then she just like gives him some sass and it's great. I love it so much. It's my favorite game just purely for aesthetics alone, and like I do like a lot of the concepts and the levels, but the fucking game is shit. It's so bad. So bad. It's not finished. It's not polished. Like, I've got a clip of me falling through the map multiple times. So yeah, it's an unfinished shitty game, but it's also my favorite. So that's why it's my
solid review right there.
Yeah, it's my favorite game, but it's objectively bad. That's just the facts. But yeah, I don't know. This is what I meant before, by the way, when we go on tangents. It's mainly me that goes on tangents, but it happens.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to move on to our segment, our catch-up segment. I hope you got some stuff prepared for this, Tom. I hope you've thought about this a bit. But we're going to talk about what we've been watching or playing lately. Excluding Resident Evil. We can't talk about that because we'll talk about that soon. So, Tom, you're the guest. You can go first.
Okay. I've been playing the original Doom for the first time on my Switch.
Very nice.
Classic.
Having a good old time. Having a fun old time. That game's fucking hard.
It is. It's such a fun game to play, though. Like, to me, those games, because like I used to play Doom all the fucking time as a kid. Like, I actually even have it on one of my hard drives. I have a whole heap of like Doom mods because I had a program where you could load a whole heap of Doom mods and shit, and it's good times. But like, I love those games. Like, I can play through the first 10. Like, I know I've played Doom 2. Like, arguably, I would actually say I've played Doom 2 more than I have Doom 1. But I've played Doom 2, like, the first 10 to 15 levels of that, I've played so many times that I just know how to do it, and I can do it very quickly. Like, I guarantee you, if I went to play the first 10 levels of Doom 2 right now, I'd be finished it in about, like, 20 minutes. Because like I just know what I'm doing, and because I've played those levels so many times. The later levels of the game's not so much, but that's why
I'm keen to get through it because I want to play Doom 64 because that game looks aesthetically like fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the only Doom game I've never played.
Yeah, well, $7 on the Switch. I'm gonna get it eventually.
I don't have the Switch, so I'd have to spend $400 on a Switch or whatever it
We can
costs.
get it on PS4 as well.
$7 on PS4 as well.
Oh, is it? Fuck yeah! I'm gonna
They're
get
all
it on
dirt cheap as
PS4.
hell.
I haven't bought the Doom games on PS4 because I have the Doom 3 BFG edition on PS3, and it just has.
Yeah, that comes with all of it.
So I'm just like, there's no point me buying them.
But you could just have them all on one console. That's
Yeah.
my argument. I have the BFG edition as well,
Yeah.
Boys.
but I just want to play Doom while I take a shit. So
That is living the dream.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I will say
It's pretty
I
good.
like those games a lot more than the newer Doom.
Yeah,
game.
I tried to play 2016. I don't know, so I
Yeah.
decided to go back and see if I can kind of like get into it.
Yeah. Lou and I have had plenty of experience in Doom 2016.
Oh, damn straight.
Fucking Rachel. I don't know if you've seen. I may have told you, I may have showed you, but we once, this was actually the beta for Doom 2016, so it was before the game out. Lou and I were playing it. We were shooting, and we came across this girl in our like lobby, right? They were on the opposite team, whose name was Rachel, like it was in her gamer tag, Rachel. And so we literally just spent God knows how long. I cut it down to like a 5-10 minute video of just a compilation of us going around chasing her, going Rachel, like in Batman.
Rachel!
And it was just that for 10 minutes. Like it's one of my favorite videos. I truly believe that's my magnum opus. Like it doesn't get better than that.
Poor girl just fucking deletes and throws her PlayStation out the window. No, never
Well,
again.
see, I don't know if she's seen it. I don't know. I'm friends with her on PlayStation still, so
Oh wow.
Whatever.
so. But yeah, so that's an interesting thing. But yeah, so we played that, and then I got the Doom 2016 when it first came out, like the day of launch, and I still haven't finished it. I still own it because when I was clearing out my gaming collection because I needed money, I couldn't bring myself to get rid of Doom. So yeah, I just haven't played 2016, and I've had zero interest in the new Doom whatsoever. It's funny, I actually saw a tweet from you, Tom, where you were talking about the soundtrack for Doom, and you're like,
Oh, it's so good.
yeah, you were like, it's such a good soundtrack, but like in your tweet you were like, you don't really care about the new Doom that much, but you want to hear the soundtrack, and I
Yeah.
read that and I was like I feel that so
Yeah,
much.
I don't know if it's dropped on Spotify yet, but they have a fucking heavy metal
today.
screaming choir.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the most metal thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So I really want to hear this fucking soundtrack so bad.
And all the Doom soundtracks are good. Like even classic Doom, like
Yeah.
the soundtrack, like I could honestly, like, you know how I said I could play through Doom off by heart? I could probably recite the soundtrack of Doom 2 off by heart in order of level as well, by the way.
Because they're all like really like heavily inspired by like lots of thrash metal and stuff from back in the day.
Yeah, they're just so catchy. It's so good.
So you probably inadvertently know a lot of thrash metal.
Yeah, I probably do. Yeah, there's actually some songs there that I like kind of recognize that I've heard before, like just like the riffs and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah. But then that was kind of missing with Doom 3 a bit.
Doom
Which
3,
is-
which is like ambient sounds the whole fucking time.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like I watched your video on Doom 3, and I watched that and I was like, because like I actually genuinely like Doom 3. Like I really enjoy that game, but I will say it is very much not a Doom game, and it kind of, you know, I just wish it was more like a Doom game. And that's what I do like about Doom 2016 is like it's full on fucking Doom, like what Doom is meant to be. But yeah, I like it.
So I'm hoping like me playing these older games will kind of get me interested in the newer ones.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the newer ones.
But also I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
Nice.
And that's
Oh yeah.
fun. Yeah, I think that's really about it.
Yeah, you been watching anything? Any movies or anything you've watched lately? Any?
I watched
Not that there's
The
anything
Grudge.
in the cinemas, but you know.
Yeah, nothing in the cinemas, but there is on certain websites.
Oh yeah.
I watched The Grudge, which was
For clarification, he's
terrible.
talking about perfectly legal streaming services.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. I am nothing but a law-abiding citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that. It was, not very good. I love The Grudge, massive fan of the series, and really looking forward to it, and it was kind of disappointing. And then I watched Dracula, the BBC one.
Yeah.
and 2/3 of that is good.
That's what I've heard.
Um,
Like, in our last episode, Lewin said exactly the same thing, and that's what I've heard literally everyone say. It's like the first two episodes are really good, but then the third episode is kind of just eh.
yeah, it just kind of like completely changes a bit, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
and you don't have any time to care.
But in
And
the
it just
way
ends
that
the
I've heard
weirdest
that
way.
it changes, and I am gonna watch it, by the way. It's on my list to watch. The way I've heard it's changed, when I heard how it kind of changes, I'm like, yeah, that is very Stephen Moffat. Like,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, I don't know too much about him, but from what you've told me,
you know, just
and
me talking about Doctor Who, you'd be,
yeah,
or
when it
even-
happened, I was like, oh fuck, he couldn't just not do this, could he?
Yeah.
He had to do this.
I guess what you know about Sherlock as well, because it's
Yeah.
you know, because there's that, like we were talking about, there's that one episode of Sherlock, The Abominable Bride, that's like that period piece, but then you know he just like it's like the Christmas special or whatever it was.
The very
And
end,
it's-
it just shoehorns in modern day again.
Yeah, they tie it into the modern day storyline in the Sherlock series, and when I literally remember watching that, being like, why? Why did you do that? Why couldn't you just have one special where it's a period piece, it's strictly period Sherlock, and that's
He's always
it?
got to have his little
Yeah,
twist, surprise the
Yeah,
audience.
and
So
they had to-
just chill.
they had to tie it into the whole Moriarty thing. Ugh. Oh, that's all I have to say. But yeah, as soon as I heard of that, I was like, yeah, that sounds very Stephen Moffat to me.
Yeah, it as I said, first 2/3 pretty good.
Yeah,
It's basically just Bram Stoker's Dracula.
yeah.
But a little bit different.
Well, I'm pretty keen to watch it. I think I do want to see it because, like, despite all the shit I talk about Stephen Moffat, I do genuinely like him as a writer. He's one of those writers that, whether he's writing Doctor Who or anything, he's someone that has big ideas, and you know he's very good at constructing story arcs. But his big problem is, I feel like sometimes he gets a bit too ambitious, and sometimes he can't pull off what he starts in a very satisfying way. So that's what I think his weak part is. But I do genuinely like him. Like I am a big fan. Like I'm sure Lewin agrees. We are big fans of his work on Doctor Who, and I do genuinely like his work on Sherlock for the most part. But yeah, you know, he's always got to do something weird. You know,
He gets a
It's-
little bit overindulgent by the end every time.
Yeah, like his final episode of I mean, we discussed this, but his final episode of Doctor Who, the one he wrote, which was Peter Capaldi's last episode, I did a review for that on YouTube. I know I keep plugging my own channel, I'm sorry, but I did a review for it, and the title for that video was A Self-Indulgent Mess of Storytelling. And
It's a damn good fucking name, though.
yeah, I know, it is. I was very proud of myself.
It's like, bam!
But yeah, so that's cool. Well, what about you, Lon? What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
I'm starting to think we picked the wrong topic for today because I've noticed a trend already. As of 4 o'clock this morning, I finished Doom 2016 for the first time and got the platinum. And I'm gonna
Nice. How'd you find it?
given that it took me 4 years to finally finish it,
It's a long game.
oh damn straight. It went on way too long, in my opinion. The levels were just a bit too long, and there's just a little bit too much in the middle. And you just like
Right,
it would
yeah.
have been like a good 2 hours shorter, and it would have been better.
I honestly don't even think I've gotten to the middle of the game.
See,
Like, I genuinely don't think I have.
the good thing I find about the original Dooms is the levels are relatively short.
Yeah, it's really good with its brevity.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a nice pick up, like for instance on the Switch. Pick up the Switch, go for a level. If you got to do something else, well, there you go. You've already done what you need to do. Quick and easy.
I literally was playing it before you guys hopped on, and I was like, okay, turn on.
It's just one of those quick pick up and play games, which Doom
Well, like,
is not.
yeah, like for me, that's what I used to use Classic Doom for a lot. But like, for me now, my pick up and play game is just Overwatch. Like, it's still
It's always been
Overwatch.
that,
Let's
though.
pick up and play.
Yeah,
with the
since
matchmaking.
2016, my PS4 is basically a glorified Overwatch machine. So,
Other than Doom, I'm pretty much just still working on the Yakuza 5 Platinum.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You were talking about Yakuza a while ago, and I said Tom's played Yakuza. Tom has played Yakuza.
I have played some of Yakuza, yes.
Yeah,
Which one?
I haven't.
Not much. Played a bit of the first one. They're a remaster.
Kiwami. Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. So I've been meaning to get through it, but yeah,
Zero.
it's long.
It is long. Zero is longer, but I'd recommend going back to Zero before finishing Kiwami.
Yes, I've heard some people say too. Like what's his name? Majima? Is that his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
I fucking love him so much. But then again, everyone does. So
Majima's the fucking best.
yeah, he's just a fucking psycho.
We'll walk past
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Cone, well, there he is.
Yeah, he just comes out at the worst times. And you're like, bro, I'm so happy to see you, but I really got shit to do.
I need to go and get that fucking stamina. Gotta get my health back before you even consider jumping me. No,
yeah, I've never played these games, so
We're just basically speaking
you're
nonsense, right?
literally just saying words, and I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been playing another Japanese game. I've actually been playing a bit of Persona 5.
nice. Royale comes out in 7 days.
Good, that's just what I needed to know. I'm of the opinion, like, here's the thing, like, you know how Witcher 3 was my long-term video game project?
Yup.
Well, I feel like Persona 5 is going to be an even longer-term video game
Yeah,
project,
I've heard
because
it's like super, super, super long.
I barely get time to actually play it, and when I do want to play, like, because right now I'm playing Resi 2, and, you know, playing Overwatch when I can't be fucked playing Resi 2, and, you know, just fucking around and all that kind of shit, and I just, like, I barely play it, but I do play, like, little portions of it here and there, so, you know, maybe in about 10 years I might have finished it. We'll see what happens.
To your review.
Wait for the fucking review. 10 years in the making.
10 years. Yeah, I'll do a real skill up and make this very, like,
With these stupid analogies and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I'll spend 10 minutes talking about Pepsi and Coke, and then
Yeah.
then I'll be like, so let's talk about the game now.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be beautiful.
Everyone will be fucking sending out their Persona 7 reviews, just like, yeah, this is a pinnacle of gaming. You're like, Persona 5's pretty up there, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Persona 6 will no way in hell come out in 10 years.
You know, that's
Who knows? Maybe I might finally finish Persona 5, release it, and then they like still haven't even announced a new game or anything, and I'd be
Legit,
like, hey,
like, those
it's
games take so long to come out.
still topical.
yeah, we do.
Huh.
We still have another 6 years of Persona 5 milking. We should be good.
Yeah.
By the
Persona 5
way,
Dance
okay,
Royale.
just want to add, before, that wasn't a jab at Skill Up. I actually like Skill Up's content quite a lot. He's kind of scaled back on his analogies now, which is pretty good. So, you know,
Mine was a little bit of a stab.
yours was a stab, yeah.
I've
But
Just
I
a
mean,
little
Yeah,
bit.
we're on.
It's
I
all
mean,
in good fun.
yeah, but I mean, I do enjoy his videos. Like, he's very, like, and he is kind of like, my videos, like my long form ones, are kind of very loosely based on the same similar kind of structure of, like, you know, breaking the video down into kind of segments and just kind of going through it. But yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you've been doing, Lewin?
No, that's about it.
That's it. Wow, you do a lot. You still haven't watched Witcher though.
No, I still haven't watched the second episode.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I know, because you're kind of relying on that for the podcast, aren't you?
I am. And who knows, we might not even get things coming out, and we're gonna have to talk about The Witcher. So, you know.
Step it up, man. You got all this free time now.
No, man. Free time doesn't exist. Free time on everything else.
Purely
Yeah.
a concept.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, Persona 5, I played a little bit of it, not a lot. I'm still playing Resi, so, you know, nothing's new. I've been playing Resi 2 since the first episode, so. Overwatch, I have been rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Good shit, good shit.
Good.
Yeah, I just literally last night watched the first Pontiac Bandit episode again.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah, so I'm kind of going through season 1 at the moment, because I finished season 6 a while ago, a
Started
few weeks
season
back.
7 yet?
No, I haven't started season 7 yet. And I was like, I got kind of bored of watching Altered Carbon like I am enjoying it, but I kind of just wanted to watch something a bit shorter, where I could just kind of pop it on, and so I just put Brooklyn Nine-Nine on. But yeah, I've been enjoying rewatching that. Um, I did watch the other day. Lua knows about this, but so before we started recording, you know how we were talking shit about the Doctor Who fandom, right? Well, like that particular part of the Doctor Who fandom. Well, there's another part of the Doctor Who fandom, you know, like the group of the good people, the nice ones. And so they recently there was a massive, because like, you know, everyone's in isolation and shit at the moment. There was a massive live, basically everyone watched the 50th anniversary special of Doctor Who, the Day of the Doctor, all at the same time, and everyone was like live tweeting, and there was like streams happening and shit like that. This happened at 6 a.m. out here in Australia, and I decided I couldn't be fucked getting up for it. But what I did do later on that day is I popped the Day of the Doctor in onto my Blu-ray, and I popped up a live stream, and just kind of watched a live stream along with the episode. And I tell you what, it was a good time. And I like this. This is what I like just people coming together because we're all kind of fucked at the moment. We're all stuck doing nothing and just watching Doctor Who and just enjoying it. That's what I like.
They've got another
I
one
wish.
that's happening soon. On
Yeah, they're gonna do Rose, and they're also gonna do fucking the 11th hour.
Nice.
So they're just doing that. So that's going to become, I guess, kind of a thing that the Doctor Who fandom's doing. But it's cool. Like, you know, like that's what I like. I like seeing the more positive side of the Doctor Who community, because the other people are very loud. So it's just nice to have like the little things every now and then. You just kind of take what you can get. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, but like apart from that, I haven't really been doing much. Just been, you know, working on various things. Finally got my Shadow of the Tomb Raider video up, so it's been good. It's been good.
Proud of you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But Luan and I, we played a bit of GTA a while back, a week ago, whenever it was, with Gwendol.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Decide to just crash that party.
Yeah, it was good though. Reminds me of the good old GTA days. Wendell literally suggested we should do the heists, and I was like, no, let's not do the heists. I don't want to sit through the GTA heists again. It's too much. There was one time we were playing the heist, Tom, and it was like, I can't remember which one it was, but we were in helicopters, and it was like,
Will?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So there was a few of us. It was our crew kind of in helicopters. We were going to like the finishing point of the heist mission, right? And so the thing with the heist is when you die, you have to like pretty much do it all again, or at least do it all from one checkpoint that's like halfway through or whatever. So anyway, we'd done all this bit. We'd spent hours trying to get this bit.
We're finally on the very final part.
We're at the end.
The final part
and so we
land on a beach. That's it.
Yeah, we all have to land on the beach. So I decided it's a fun idea to jump out of the helicopter. And I end up going I don't know how this happened. I can't remember if it's exactly there was a helicopter beneath or something, but I just went straight through the propeller blades and we lost the mission and we had to do it again.
Fuck, that's why I hate heists. I've never finished one because of that. So
Will's helicopter auto-locked onto the landing zone, and you went straight through the propeller, causing us... That's the same mission where you hopped out, you went to get back into the plane, and you walked around, and your character walked straight into the propeller blades of that.
Yeah, no, it is too. I did it twice, yep. I'm very clumsy.
Heists were actually how I met you and Bwendel.
That is true, yes. That is very true. Fucking Bwendel was like... I'm very socially awkward, and Bwendel was like, I've got friends that want to play heists, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that.
Will did the same thing to me. And before we got you in, we had good old Suicidal Pig, who none of us knew, but we got to the end of the mission and he blew himself up with C4, causing us to completely restart. So I still hate him.
Nice. Well, good times though. I kind of miss playing GTA. It was just such fun times back in the day. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing. But yeah, but do you know what else I've been doing? And I suspect you guys have been doing the same thing.
Self-isolating? What?
Yeah,
What?
no, I've been doing that. Yeah, yeah, we're all doing that. No, I played the Resident Evil 3 demo.
Hey, good fun.
How'd you like?
Yes.
How'd you like that segue?
You've
Uh,
grown up.
It wasn't very good. I kind of just the bullet point for the episode is just wing it. I'm attempting
Yeah.
to do that the best I can.
Okay.
But yeah, the Resident Evil demo came out whenever the fuck it came out. It was a few days ago. We've all played it. I've only played it once. Tom, I'm assuming you've played it multiple times.
3 times.
3 times. One of them is a video that I did watch, by the way. I watched it while I was cooking dinner one night. It was
Oh.
yeah, it was a very very fun time.
That's good.
While I actually had food to cook dinner with, so you know.
Cause for celebration.
Yeah, exactly. Lewin, how many of you played it once or?
For once, yeah.
Yeah. So, the theme for the rest of this podcast is Tom is going to be our Resident Evil expert. So it seems like that's the case with this as well.
Okay.
But
Yep.
I guess because you played it multiple times, we've only played it once. But I guess, oh, what do we all think of it? Like, you know, who wants to go first?
Tom, you're the guest.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. It is good. It is good. It takes a lot of the mechanics that were in the original Resident Evil and kind of expands upon them, and fleshes out as well, like Raccoon City, which is like one of the biggest draws with Resident Evil 3 compared to 2. And Nemesis is just a beast of a thing.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, that dude is gonna. I definitely see him causing some headaches.
Well,
he could just move so fucking fast.
I'm already annoyed in Resident Evil 2 with the fucking
Mr. X.
bloody... Yeah, him.
Yeah, Mr. X.
Just him chasing me around the fucking police station. Like, just leave me alone for 5 seconds. That'd be great.
Yeah, well,
Thank you very much.
Resi 3 is gonna be so much worse.
I walked out of that donut shop like it's just gonna be a slightly upgraded Mr. X, and then I'm running up the stairs. He fucking sprints over me and smashes my spine into the ground. I'm like,
Yeah, I think everyone who versed him, like, who decided to stick around and fight Nemesis for the first time, died. Like, it's inevitable.
Yeah, no,
He's just so
I died
fast.
when, Nemesis turned up as well, and I was just like, fuck, what is happening? I really enjoyed, like, because I wasn't expecting that, because, I really know not, the only thing I really know about Nemesis is just his appearance in the movie. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know anything about Nemesis in the older
Well,
games, because I haven't played them, so I didn't quite know what to expect from it. So when he just turned up randomly, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah, like, he's kind of operating again in a similar way to the original. Like, a lot of the stuff that he does in that, minus the infecting some zombie with, like, a weird tentacle head.
what?
He doesn't do that in the original, but yeah, he operates the same way. But this, now that it's in a 3D space, it really allows him to actually perform to like the fullest capabilities. So I'm interested to see kind of what they do and how throughout the game, because he does like mutate and transform and gets new weapons, how that's kind of going to play. Because all we saw him with was just of his like little tentacle arm when he gets like rocket launchers and machine guns and all this crazy shit.
Yeah. And that's the
core
Nemesis
gameplay
that I
seems to
know.
be the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very similar to, it's just like the same as Resi 2, so I felt really comfortable playing it. There are a few differences though now. I noticed the knife now.
Doesn't
Which
degrade.
is brilliant.
Yeah, there's that, but I also
It's
noticed
good.
it's basically just like you press a button now, where in Resi 2, don't you have to like hold, like it's like in that inventory with like your grenades and shit, and like,
No, it's still
Is it
in
still
the
like that?
inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still like that. It's just not a defensive weapon anymore.
yeah. I
Um,
just because I found it a lot easier to use, where before it was just in Resi 2, I was just like, ugh.
I never used knives in the remake.
Yeah, neither did I. But then I've watched like videos of people like kill Birkin with just a knife, and it's like so fucking easy to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I
But yeah.
saw The only time I use the knife in Resi 2 is if a zombie jumps me, and then I just press L1 and then just.
Yep.
That's it.
Well,
Never
that's
use it
why
any other
you've
time.
got the, like, even though now that's no longer a defensive weapon, so you just have like the mashing or X for PlayStation for when a zombie grabs you.
Yeah.
But that's always does damage now.
Yeah, that was a new
So-
thing. So that's the thing, because like I never didn't press X, so I don't know what happens if you don't. Do you just die if you don't press X?
No, I
Smash
tested
X?
it and it's just you just take way more damage.
Right.
That's
Okay.
it.
So like you're gonna
Um,
take damage either way.
Yeah, so that's why the dodge now is going to become such an important thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. The dodge. Is there like there wasn't dodges in Resident Evil 2 and that.
And
Is
Not-
that like
no,
a
dodge in the original Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, and it
Ah.
didn't work.
so
Didn't work very well
it's gonna work now because we've
because enemies actually have attack animations that with a clear wind up.
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to work. And also, if you execute it like perfectly and aim your gun, you'll put slow motion on. Apparently, I've tested it a couple of times and it does work. So you can get
Yeah.
a couple of cheeky little pot shots in.
Mm.
Yeah. I really
I
like
think that game and its combat is going to be built around that.
Mm.
I'm pretty excited. Like I'm actually gonna be buying this when it comes out.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
same.
excited for it. Because I've just decided to screw it now. I'm just gonna buy games, even though I have fuck all money. There are ways I can get games, so it's fine. I'm just gonna buy new games that I really, really, really want to buy. I'm not gonna buy everything that comes out, but for me this year, Resident Evil 3 is one of them. Last of Us, Avengers, and Cyberpunk. They're the games that I am getting this year. And then everything else I really don't care about, and I'll get it at some point. But they're the games, and that actually I'm so glad all of those games, the majority of those, were delayed because fuck, it would have been a clusterfuck for not just this podcast, but trying to figure out what games to play because you would have had like Cyberpunk, Last of Us, Avengers, Resident Evil all coming out around the same time in like that period of like 2 months. So I'm glad the majority of them were delayed until like later in the year because it frees up my time a lot more. Because my original plan was just to play Resident Evil 3 until Cyberpunk came out and then put Resident Evil 3 down and not play it again until I had time, because I would have just played Cyberpunk until forever, basically.
Yeah,
so,
till you die.
yeah, essentially. So I'm glad I actually have time to play Resident Evil 3. And when I say I have time, I don't have time for it, but there's nothing else coming out that I can go, I'll play that instead. You know, it's all... But
You got to finish 2 because like
I'm going to try and finish 2, yeah. I'm almost finished Claire's campaign. Like, I was planning on finish Claire's leading up to this podcast, but I didn't finish Claire's. So I'm in the last part of the sewer bit towards the end of the game. So I've just gone through the sewers. I've actually linked back up to the secret room, and I've gone back into the police station. And there was like the little film that I developed, and it gave me some... it showed me some photos of some items that are hidden in the police station. So I went and grabbed those, and now I'm back down into the sewers ready to do the next part. I've been encountering those big fuck off monster things in the sewers.
The G-Virus bastards.
Yeah, and I just like every time I see one, I just run away because I'm like, I'm not dealing with you right now.
That was originally a shitty boss in Resident Evil 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the little thing that Birkin... Oh, no, not Birkin, sorry, after... Oh, God, actually, no, I can't talk about that because maybe spoilers. After a certain event happens and something splits off someone, that is what those monsters are.
Ah.
All I know about them is I need to shoot the eye.
Yep, that's
That's
basically any...
it. And they keep...
Flamethrower ammo and grenade launcher ammo for that.
Yeah, I just been using the... I mean, I don't know, again, because, like, I just shoot things and hope for the best, really. So when they're not zombies, when they're zombies, I'm like very I take my time, and I'm like always like straight for the head, like I'm aiming for that fucking headshot. But like when it comes to the big boys, I'm just fucking shooting shit. Like I just see what happens and go for it. It's like the bit earlier on in Resident Evil 2 where like you find Sherry, and then you go down to the bottom, and the big boy comes after you for a bit in that small enclosed space.
Mm.
Yeah, so when I first played that, I was just fucking aimlessly shooting and just seeing what happened and what worked and what didn't work, because I had
Yeah.
no idea what the fuck I was doing.
It's a good approach.
Yeah, ran out of ammo. That's the story of Resident Evil 5. We'll come to that.
Classic Resident Evil.
One thing I like about Resident Evil 3, though, is, and I like this about 2 as well, but I really noticed it a lot in 3, is I really love the lighting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Resi 3 just is lit so fucking well.
It,
RE engine is such a good fucking
it
engine.
is.
Like from Resident Evil 7. I think it's used for like Devil May Cry 5 and all
Yeah.
that stuff as well.
You'd think it'd stand for Resident Evil engine, but as far as I'm aware, it actually does not stand for that.
Even though it totally has like a zombie hand as well.
Yeah, it's really weird.
The logo.
Interesting, yeah. I do like also, not just the lighting, but like the textures look a lot better as well. But not that Resident Evil looks bad or anything. Like Resident Evil 2 looks fucking great, but like I just noticed, especially with like the Jill's character model, when it's not in a cutscene, actually still looks really good. Where in like Resident Evil 2, something that I've noticed is, the Claire model, obviously, like with a lot of games, the Claire model doesn't look as good as it does in cutscenes.
Yeah, I still think like it looks fucking schmick.
Oh yeah, it does 100%. But like, I mean, I've noticed a difference between Jill and Claire. Jill just looks a lot more detailed in game than what Claire did. So I'm really enjoying that. Plus, Jill, like literally, here's the thing, right? This is my story with because I swore off Resident Evil after my Resident Evil 5 experience, and what got me back and what actually got me interested in playing the Resi 2 demo was the Resi 3 announcement trailer. I saw Jill and I was immediately like, yes, I need this, and I just became obsessed. And I guess there's part of that is there's a lot of similarities between Jill Valentine and Lara Croft, I guess. But like I'm obviously very aware of Jill Valentine as a character. Like I think she's probably, even though I haven't played her games, she's the character I've researched the most when it comes to her story, because like her story, because in the movies, because obviously my knowledge of Resident Evil mainly comes from researching stuff that's in the movies and researching the game stuff and what the differences are, and there's a lot. But that's my knowledge of the Resident Evil games, right? So when Jill Valentine turns up in the 5th Resident Evil movie and she's all like bad now, I'm like, what the fuck? So I looked that up, and then I actually start reading about the whole storyline in the games with that. And even though the storyline's completely different in the films, it's the same kind of concept. So that's my knowledge of the Resident Evil games, is me doing research. Basically. But yeah, like Jill Valentine was always one of my favorite characters in the second film. And everything I've seen of her from the games I really like. So when I saw the new trailer, I was like, I have to jump on board with Resi 3. And then that's when I made the decision to play Resi 2 as well. So here I am today, playing the Resis, loving it, having a good old time. That's
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. I love Resident Evil 2. It's such a fun game.
It is a really good game.
Bit stressful at parts, but it's fun.
It was Resident Evil 7 that got me into the series. I was like, I always looked at it. I played a bit of 6, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really caring that much. Played a bit of the originals on PS1, and I was like, fuck, tank controls. And then I bought Resident Evil 7 when it came out. Found myself halfway through it. I'm like, fuck, I can't put this down. Go all the way to the end, and I'm like, shit. I like this series now.
Yeah, I honestly the same. Like, I wasn't a big Resi fan until actually I started the channel, because I don't know, I just didn't really gel with it. I am still more of a Silent Hill fanboy.
Yeah.
But going like, after, same as me. Like I played 7, had a great time, then just went back, and the whole fucking series is pretty damn good. Even the bad games have their charm.
Don't let me name 6.
6 is amazing, and everyone who hates it is just because I don't have that like nostalgia
No, no,
or
I'm
like
fully there with you.
attachment to like the formula. So I don't see 6 as like this abhorrent thing
Yeah,
that ruined the
in some
franchise.
backwards form, 6 was actually like the second or third game I completed in the series. So I was like, okay.
Six is like really over the
Oh,
top too, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's just like ridiculously like.
You get
it
halfway
has
through
some of the
something.
funnest gunplay
Oh yeah,
in like
no.
any game.
Mercenaries mode in 6 is fucking great fun to play.
Yeah.
Just like it's funny because in the notes for our Resident Evil discussion, because we've kind of just gone into that. The first thing I had in my notes was what our experience is, and we've kind of just covered that. So
Sweet.
No,
hey,
nailed it.
yeah. But I did want to, before we actually talk proper Resident Evil, I did want to circle back to Resi 3 for a sec, because something I was going to bring up. So, what was it? Oh yeah, so Jill Valentine, right? So yeah, I'm really keen to play it purely for this character. I love this character. Tom, compared to like, because obviously you've played a lot more Resi than mine. Like, where did, like, because you keep saying she's a real sassy one, and I agree with that. But where does like Jill kind of sit in your kind of like experience playing the games and like the other characters in the games, for example?
Well, she first appeared in 1,
Yes, yes,
and
I do know that.
she wasn't like none of the characters in that game besides Barry really and Wesker kind of became the characters they are today. They were very blank slates. The only thing that was like Jill Valentine back then was she was a sandwich and she's the master of unlocking.
Still.
So 3 is when she really became Jill Valentine, I think, like with the personality and all that kind of stuff. And
I guess to like, you know, you go from Resi 1 where there's, you know, a lot of characters, because Resi 1 you can play as both
Chris and Jill.
Chris and
Yeah.
Jill, right? Yeah.
And the
So
same goes for 2. You can play as Leon and Claire.
yeah. So
But 3
like,
is just her
3
game.
is yeah. So yeah, she goes to getting her own game. So I guess a lot of that, you know, comes from that as well. You know.
Yeah.
That must have been a big change of formula at the time. Like, Resident Evil fans must have been like, "What the fuck? Where's?"
Yeah, where's like the zapping system and all that kind of stuff. Like that was they I don't know about at the time per se, but like when people do talk about that, they do like kind of mention that like it is a bit strange that this is the only game with only one playable character. But I'm assuming it was because it was such a short development turnaround for that one. Like it came out like a year after RE2.
Yeah, I did notice because I've got the games open now. It was what when was it?
2000 or 99?
99, I think.
99, yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
and 2 was 98.
98, 99, and when 1 was 96.
Yeah, so there's much bigger development time between 1 and 2.
I think 3 was also the first
so, like-
one to have contested development. Like, wasn't there 3 Resi games in development at the time that 3 was coming out?
I believe so. I think it was
Code Veronica, 3.
Code Veronica 3, and I believe 4 was as well. But 4 was like a shit show the entire time, so. But there's like a story. I'm not too sure if it's true or not. It's general consensus is that Code Veronica was meant to be 3.
Yeah, I've heard that story too.
But yeah, 3 ended up being it. But I've heard from another YouTuber who's like a massive Resident Evil fan who's like talked about it with a lot of with this other dude who's like mad inside with Capcom and all that, that wasn't the case.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've seen the same video.
Sphere Hunter.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know anymore. But yeah, it did have such a short turnaround. That's why I think Nemesis is like such a like integral part of that game. Like it was such a good decision to not try and mix the formula up too much because they had a short turnaround, but they knew that they had to do something. So expanding on the Mr. X from RE2 and then just like going, okay, well we're going to make this guy 10 times worse and more scary was like one of the best ideas I think they could have had.
So my question is, Code Veronica a main Resident Evil game or is it a spin-off?
It's a main one.
It's a main one.
Even
though it's not numbered, like the story events in that game are important. All of them basically are. Even though there's a couple of non-canon ones here and there, Code Veronica is still considered very much canon.
Because I keep seeing Code Veronica on PSN. Because whenever they do like the sales, like Code Veronica goes really like fucking cheap. Like, I mean, it's not expensive anyway because it's an older game, but like it goes
Yeah.
really, really cheap. And I've always been tempted to buy it because I see Claire on the cover of it, so I'm like, oh, I like Claire.
Code Veronica is
Um,
Claire looking for Chris, and it also explains why Wesker is a thing in 5.
So when's Code Veronica set?
After after 2.
After 2 and
Yeah.
3.
After 2 and 3. Okay.
Yeah, because 3 takes place before and after 2.
Yeah, by a couple of
And
nights.
technically during as well, but
Okay, so I'm gonna have to finish Resident Evil 2 in the next few days then.
I honestly I would recommend it because from what I've gathered from the trailers, there's going to be a lot of characters that you may not have met because you haven't played Leon's campaign
Yeah.
that are going to be in it.
Oh god. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play all of Leon's campaign.
One character you
I
haven't
believe
that isn't really a spoiler because you've seen it by now. You know Marvin? The
Yeah.
He's going to be in Resident Evil 3 because the before part is obviously before he got fucked.
Yeah. Right, okay.
so. I'm interested to see how they kind of take that because in the original, like you do like have before, but it's not really like not a lot is done. Not a lot is done narratively.
It's looking like
And you don't really interact with any characters
No.
really actually from Resident Evil 2.
it looks like they're tying in a lot more of the beginning part to probably pump this
Yeah.
game up a bit because they've also cut in by the looks of it. Like the weirdest thing with 3 I find, I'm not sure about the development history of 3, as is clear. 3 cut out the 2 characters as we've discussed, but it also has multiple choice.
Yeah, has multiple choices,
And
and it also has multiple choice and randomized items and character interactions as well.
so
There's quite a lot going on in that
Yeah.
game that like
it is mechanically very different from 2.
yeah
In like the way that like everyone's like, yeah, this isn't that big of an upgrade, but in the weirdest way it is.
yeah.
So
But the
is
multiple choices are gone. In
Yeah.
the new one.
I was gonna ask, is the new one
No.
like that at all, or is it just gonna be like
Which is why I think that
here's the
pumping
campaign?
up the beginning is to kind of make up for quite a bit of cut content.
Yeah, and like the
Right.
content that is gone, like the choices didn't really
No.
do too much.
Even Brad shows up in a helicopter, he doesn't.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't like one of those things where it's like multiple like endings and
There
that
was
kind
2
of shit.
endings, I think, for the original.
I think there's I think there's 2 endings. Maybe.
I would
Maybe
look it
not.
up, but I don't want to accidentally read what those endings are and spoil something for myself.
Basically, the endings are going to be Jill escapes or Jill escapes. But yes, there are 2 endings.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are. Yeah. They're basically the same except for one little thing that's a bit different.
Yeah.
But the choices don't have any like narrative consequence. It's more gameplay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right.
For instance, how do you deal with Nemesis in this situation? You can either
Yeah.
go for a certain path and get away from him, or you can try and blow him the fuck up.
Fair.
And it did offer some replay value, but like, yeah, it's not as integral as say the zapping system was in RE2.
Yeah.
And how that kind of was butchered in the remake, really.
Yeah, a lot of the replayability of 2 isn't really there.
Nah, like I smashed through the original RE2 like 4 times in like 2 days.
Nice.
Because it's just so like it just encourages you to keep playing. Well, I've only finished RE2 make like once.
I think I've gone through the second remake about 3-4 times.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I want to do it again before 3 comes out.
I yeah, just slowly plugging my way through it.
You gotta sit down and
I might
commit.
even go. Well, I actually can't this week. I'm actually literally editing a short film this week because I have nothing better to do. I'm editing a short film for someone, and so like I've got to get that done this week. Well, I'm not gonna have to get the whole film done, but like they want to see a rough cut later in the week, so I've got to kind of just fucking work on that. But I'll try. I want to at least finish Claire's campaign within the next couple of days, and then start Leon's. And then, like, I will still get Resident Evil 3 when it comes out, but, I'll hold off on it until I've actually played Leon's campaign.
Yeah, because you haven't even met Ada or anything.
No.
No, haven't met Ada. But I know who Ada is. Just haven't met her yet. But yeah, so that's Resi 3. Is there any other thoughts on the Resi 3 remake? Anything you guys want to add?
There was
Or
something in the demo I was a bit disappointed by. Um, and I'm hoping this is just like there's a rumor going around that it's just because it's the Japanese version of the game for the demo, like the build. The
Yep.
dismemberment system is really nerfed compared to
That could be it. Because I know Japan has a big thing about
yeah,
dismemberment.
because the way it works is exactly how RE2 remake works in Japan. Whereas out here you can like you stab a limb and it starts dangling and then it falls off. Whereas in the demo for free, you stab it, it blows up and disappears. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping it's kind of actually fixed.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
that would be sick.
yeah,
well, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice.
it's one of the first things I tested.
Can I blow this? Like, yeah, that's a problem. You might need to go see someone about that. If that's the first thing you try to figure out.
Not denying.
That's the first. That's the first thing he tries to figure out in any game he ever plays.
Minecraft, you better believe I'm trying to dismember everything.
We used to have a game back in this. I don't know if you guys had it at your school, but back in the day, we used to have a game called Marble Blast Gold at our school, and it's essentially just like you play a marble, right? And it's just like these different levels with like this platforming basically. But yeah, I could just totally imagine you playing that game, being like, "Fuck, can we dismember the marble?" That was a fucking good game, by the way. I've actually got it because I loved it so much, but I don't know. It's on a disc somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, in terms of Resident Evil, so we've kind of gone over our experience. I left out one big detail in mine, and that is Resident Evil 5. I played
Yes.
that game. I enjoyed that game. I had fun with that game. And by the way, I did play half of Resident Evil 4 before as well, back in the day on the PS2. But yeah, I played through Resident Evil 5, and I got so annoyed because I got up to the Wesker boss fight. I got up to the very, very last part. Like, I'm talking, like, literally the end of the game. And I didn't have enough ammo to do enough damage in any of my weapons to complete the game.
That's Resident Evil for you.
And it pissed me off so much that I threw my controller and broke it.
Isn't it
And then I never finished it because I realized I would have had to have gone back and played and tried to find some ammo. And I was like, I'm not replaying any of this game now because I'm just so pissed off. And that swore me off Resident Evil. Like, I never played a Resident Evil game after that. I never played 6 when it came out. I played the Resi 7 demo, and like I said, I played a bit of it with the VR and that, but I never played it. And just because of that one thing, I was done. I didn't care. Fuck Resident Evil. That was my attitude back then. So I'm glad that's changed. I'm glad I get to enjoy Resident Evil 2 because I can tell you right now, if the Resident Evil 3 thing didn't come out, and I would looked at that and saw Jill Valentine and went, yes, I need this in my life, I wouldn't be playing Resi 2 at all. It just would never have happened. We wouldn't even be talking about it now because I'd be like, I don't want to talk about that. Fuck that game. Fuck that series. Fuck it. I'll just go play Tomb Raider.
podcast over? Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of our experiences, I guess, all in. We kind of talked about that earlier than we should have, but I mean, you know, there's no real plan, is there? Like I said, we're just winging it. But I want to actually kind of briefly, not a lot, but briefly, I want to kind of just go through the Resident Evil games because I'm very confused. Okay, I've got them all up here, and it is very confusing to see. So obviously we got the mainline games. We got Resident Evil, released in 1996, 2 in 98, 3 Nemesis. We talked about those. Resident Evil 0, 2002, Resi 4, 2005. I did miss Code Veronica. That was also released as well back then. Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, and then of course the remakes, right? So they're the mainline games, right?
Yes.
But Code Veronica is like Resident Evil 0 is a prequel to the first game. I'm right
Yes,
in
which
saying that,
also kind of fucks up the continuity of the series a little bit. But
Right.
hey,
Oh, it's like Resident Evil: The Final Chapter.
Yeah, not necessarily like the continuity, but like the character of Rebecca
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense now that RE0 exists.
Okay, I
It's
don't know
like
who that character is.
Rebecca Chambers is one of the main characters in RE0, and so she's like encountered zombies now. Like,
Right.
she's scared of zombies, monsters, fought fucking tyrants, all that shit. And then in the Resident Evil remake, she's in that as well as a companion to Chris. In that game, she's like
That's
useless.
the remake from when was it?
I want to say 2006.
Was it? No, I thought it was earlier.
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that, she's very like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm so scared. And it's like, you should be well aware what's going on.
Right. Okay. Because those two kind of came out around the same
Yeah,
time.
Zero
didn't
is
they? They were
more of a
like-
prequel to the remake than the original. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
But that still doesn't fix that problem, right?
no.
No. Okay.
And it was originally meant to be released on the Nintendo 64. I did a whole video about it. But
You did.
I did. And yeah, but then it got... Because it has the switching character system, where
Yeah.
you can like switch between Rebecca and the other guy, the coolest guy in the world, Billy Cohen. He has sick tribal tattoos and wears a singlet. Yeah, they couldn't do that on the 64, so they just moved to the GameCube.
Right. Okay. Because I'm reading here like it's on GameCube, then was released on the Nintendo Wii in 2008, and then the last gen 2016 and last gen and current gen in 2016, and then Switch last year.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, don't play the Switch version because it's
Oh.
shit.
Was released in 2003 out here in Australia. So, there you go then. So there's that, and then Code Veronica, we kind of already discussed that. That's kind of like a thing. Then Resident Evil 4. One thing Resident Evil 4 also is just Leon, right? Isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because I've only
Just
played
Leon.
a bit of it, so it kind of follows the same thing as Resident Evil 3, where it's like
Yeah,
the single...
after 3, they kind of just bounced in between multiple characters or just one character.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 5 was both
Chris and
Chris.
Sheva and Chris, but like you couldn't select which one you wanted to play. I don't think you had to play as Chris.
if you're
as single
playing
player.
co-op, you can. Yeah, if it's single player, you
Yeah.
only get the one.
I love when you click on the Wikipedia page, it's like Resident Evil 5 is the 7th major installment. So, yeah, because
like
that
video
makes sense.
games.
But yeah, so Resident Evil 5, that was in 2009, and then we got Resi 6. Now, Resi 6 had the multiple campaigns, right? It had Leon, it had Chris.
It had multiple campaigns and then co-op as well at the same time.
Yeah, who was it? It was Leon and Chris. Was there...
Leon, Chris, Sherry,
And
and a new character which was like I can't remember his name, but he was Wesker's
Jake
son.
Mueller.
Jake, that's it.
Okay.
So is Sherry, because Sherry's the one from...
Yep, Sherry Birkin's from Resi 2.
Yeah, she's the one I'm trying to save. So is she older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
She's
okay,
like
that makes
18
sense.
or something or some shit. I don't know.
Right, because I remember when that game came out, like, and I said, and this is back when I didn't give a shit about Resident Evil, that I was seeing it, and like I saw that character, and I didn't recognize that character or anything. So that's who that character is.
Yeah.
Huh. That's just wow. Nice. But yeah, that was in 2012, and then they did Resi 7.
Well, no, they also did in between all these games the Revelation series.
Oh yeah, I'm getting to
canon.
that. I'm getting to that.
And then you had 7, yeah, which was like them going. I hate the fucking term, but going back to the roots.
Yeah.
Um,
So Resident Evil 7's first person, so they completely
decided to change it again.
completely just.
It's not the
fucking changed
first
everything.
Resident Evil that was first person. There's been a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a list of all the spin-offs and everything else here as well, so we can.
Yeah, and I'm the opinion like I think because Resident Evil canon is just fucking wild.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, there's canon games, not canon games, but I find it just to be fun, just to be like everything's canon. Fuck it.
Fuck
So,
it.
Survivor, bloody Gaiden, all that shit. It's all canon. It's all
Bloody,
canon. I love it.
fair enough, but yeah. So Resi 7 was like, I guess, the big shake-up,
Yeah.
kind of new thing. I remember because we were living together at the time when you were playing that. And I remember you lost interest the moment you left the house.
I did, and this is actually a recurring problem with most Resident Evil games. Is that like the first half is so fucking good,
Mm.
and then the second half kind of drops off a little bit and gets a bit more linear. Because the main draw of like Resident Evil, like I think is the massive open-ended level design. Like that's really what hooks me. And I did drop off after that, but then I did go back and actually play the whole thing again and finished it. And the ending segment's fine. It's just nowhere near as good as the first part.
Yeah,
Bacon
this is where everything in 7 is pin perfect. It's great.
Yeah, I have no problems with that game until you leave the house.
Yeah,
because that one that's because like the first part, because like in the first part, like because this is where I got really confused with Resident Evil, because like the way I know Resident Evil is it's about zombies, right? Like that's what I knew Resident Evil to be. And then of course I know about the whole Las Plagas thing and everything as well. But like Resident Evil 7 to me was just like when I was seeing everything from the first bit, because I almost jumped back on board with the series with Resi 7. I almost did. And the reason why is because anything that I saw of that game didn't look like Resident Evil to me. And I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Because, like, the first bit, like, and again, I haven't played it. So, like, and I really don't care if you spoil it because, you know, whatever. But, they are just, like, it's literally just people, right? Is that what it is? Or is there more going on to that?
There's more going
on.
Okay.
But that game, even though it doesn't look very Resident Evil, it is like the most Resident Evil game we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Like at the core mechanics and all that shit. Like you going from 2, if you went to 7, you'd just pick it up.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is like if I go from 2 to 7, it'll be fine. It'll just be that first person thing. But jump to Resident Evil 6.
It's gonna be very different.
Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, this is a whole different series.
6 doesn't make
We're drop-kicking zombies now?
Drop-kicking zombies. Fucking practically unlimited ammo. No inventory management.
Yeah. Actually, that's something I want to ask. Okay, how do you guys have a very, very particular way that you organize your inventory?
Not really.
No. Take what I need.
Okay, because I have a very particular way. I don't know what it is, but I know this happened. This started with Resident Evil 2. Not Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 4. I remember back in the day, like there was a very particular way. And so for me, I was like, I have my weapons up the top, right? My health, any kind of like, whether it's first aid spray or like herbs, whatever, it has to be in the left of the inventory. Like, and depend on how many slots I have will depend on what that means. Like right now, I got a couple of extra inventory slots, so they're down there. I've got like, you know, several rows now, but like it has to be in the bottom left. My ammo has to be in the bottom right, and then everything else I just kind of put in the middle. I don't know why, but that's just how I do it. Yeah, I know. It has to be that way. If it's not that way, it's not right, and I don't like it.
Well, see, like in my item box, I'll like group things together to make it easier to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't give a shit where the shit's placed as long as it's.
No, I just have to. I don't know why, but I just.
But like
do it.
RE4's like inventory is a fun game in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's so addictive to just sit there and fuck around with that inventory.
I've played RE4, so I look forward to that.
Oh, it is like, there's a reason why these games, like, I even think from like going back playing the first one, like, there's a reason why these games are so fucking loved, is that you can go to any of them and go, this is good. Like, it still works the way that it was intended to work. And if you can get over some of like the little hiccups of like the time, like RE4, you can't move and shoot.
Yeah.
But the game is designed around that. So it doesn't feel like some bullshit.
Oh my god. I didn't even realize that until you just mentioned that.
Yeah, you can't do it in 4 and 5.
I haven't played 4 for so long. And yeah, I haven't played 5 in so long. But yeah, no, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah, but every enemy is designed around the fact that you can't do that. Like, they'll sprint at you and then they'll slow down and start walking.
It actually started fucking with my head a bit playing through 5, because I finished that for the first time late last year. Yeah. I'd already played through 2, and I'm playing through 5, and I'm stopping, shooting, doing the whole shebang. And then halfway through playing, I'm like, I'm gonna go play some Remake 2. And then I'm like, can I move and shoot in this game?
I could do that. It was so revolutionary when you could do it.
Wow, I can't believe I forgot that. I've just always assumed Resident Evil is like. I mean, I used to know, like obviously I used to know about the fixed camera angles, and stuff like that. And I know they've obviously changed that over the years, but like, yeah, that's something I completely forgot was a thing until you just mentioned it. Then I just always assumed it was the same
It is.
for most of it.
Believe me, it's a weird series to jump around.
Oh
in.
yeah.
I'm kind of half tempted now just to jump from, like, just not play 3 at all yet and just jump from 2 to 6 just for shits and gigs.
Actually, you
Yeah,
But I want to play 3, so.
2 to 6. Jump from 2 to 5, then you'll have the problem.
yeah.
Well, I've already played 5, so I don't want to play that shit again. I'm not
Finish 5.
No, I refuse to finish that game because I'm not replaying any parts of
You've
it so I
seen
can have
Chris
more ammo.
punch a boulder.
He's an icon.
You need to see Boulder.
It's all about partners. You got to be a good partner.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day I'll go back to it. Like, I mean, my plan right now is Resident Evil 2 and 3.
I started playing it, then I was like, no, I'm good. I like it. I just couldn't be bothered.
My plan right now is Resident 2 and 3, and then maybe going back and playing, at some point, playing the original Resident Evil remake.
I'm so interested to see how you go with that.
I'm still working on it myself. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's honestly the most scared I've been playing a video game.
It is, like, I've only played the original Resident Evil. I've barely touched the remake. But the design of that is, even though there is going to be definitely some similarities, because 2 still takes a lot of stuff from the old school kind of Resident Evil design, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much of a change, but it's just, the camera angles and how the combat works and all that stuff is completely different.
That's it. I can adapt. We'll see how.
And the
we
whole
go.
limited saving thing too.
Yeah, because originally I was gonna play that first and then play Resi 2, but then I just thought to just go with something more modern, so I just played
You're
Resi
fine.
2. Yeah.
Currently trying to finish off Jill's campaign in the remake before 3 comes out.
And you can bump that game around difficulties if you want to, so you can have a bit of a cruisier time.
Yeah.
But then it
kind of cruisier time.
But it does then flip over the fact that the game is designed around these mechanics being a certain way. So if you want to get that full, like, tense experience, it's good to kind of just play it as, like, normal.
Yeah, I've got it on normal mode, and I'm just playing it the way I'm assuming it was intended to be played, and it actually unnerves me.
Yeah. They're hard games, but, like, once you get the hang of it, it's... Like, I always make the weird comparison to Dark Souls, even though it's a fucking meme. But, like, once you, like, conquer a Resident Evil game, you can go and play any survival horror game from that era and have an understanding of how it's going to work.
Once you get good, you're good.
Yeah.
It's just getting good.
That's the
I learned it from Dark Souls, and I'm gonna keep learning it.
Funny, I've never played Dark Souls.
Great games.
I have a very large love for that series.
Same.
Tom tried to get me to play Bloodborne once to kind of ease me into it, and I fully intended to play it, and then just never did.
I've platinumed all 4 games, and I'm currently working on Sekiro.
Yeah, I gave up on Sekiro.
It just feels a bit weird.
It's because it's just based around the parry mechanic, a lot of it, and I fucking suck at parry.
Same.
So I'm like,
kicked my ass for a bit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good.
Although I will
can just
say,
skip
because I was playing like Jedi Fallen Order and stuff, and you know, Jedi Fallen Order again. Like I haven't played Dark Souls, so like, but it gets a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls. So you know, and Jedi Fallen Order, like you can go up against some fucking difficult boys that take a while to take down. So, you know, I mean, based on the gameplay that I've seen of Dark Souls, it looks very similar, but it's just like Star Wars. But what I've been just based on, you know, knowing things through, you know, what other people say is like, it's basically like, you know, a lot easier than what Dark Souls is, but it's like, you know, like I was watching a review that was like, if you're thinking of getting into Dark Souls, you know, like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a good way to start to kind of understand kind of the basics of it.
That is
I'm assuming
then-
so, because I refuse to believe that Dark Souls is a hard game. It's challenging,
It's just,
but it's
I guess,
because it doesn't. It teaches you through death,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that game will kill you a lot.
pretty much every death you
Unless-
feel is never unfair.
Yeah.
It's your own fault if you died.
You're like, I could have dodged, or I shouldn't have dodged,
It's
or I should have
all a
done this and
learning
that.
experience, and once you learn, you
It just clicks,
yeah, it just clicks in.
and it's like a rhythm.
It is the one thing I do really like about Sekiro, is learning how, like, the larger enemies fight. And it feels
Yeah.
more like a dance at times.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really, really fun to actually
And see, I suck at dancing, so again.
We've gone way off topic. We should get back to Resident Evil.
this is what I was saying. Though, like the tangents, this is what happens. But yeah, so back to Resi. So they're kind of like the main games. You know, we've got a few remakes and that kind of stuff in there, and then we have a fucking massive list of. I'm not even going to go to the section that says mobile games because fuck.
There's
that.
a lot of them.
Fuck that. But there's so many spin-offs. Like the ones that I'm familiar with are the ones that I've kind of been exposed to. So Resident Evil Revelations 2. I'm familiar with Operation Raccoon City, and I know that there's a thing that's called Umbrella Corps that exists.
Yeah,
but there's
which is basically even Capcom's like, don't think about that.
Yeah, there's a fucking lot of them. Like, I'm just looking through the list now. There's so many of them. Like, there's what's saying here is the Gun Survivor series. So
Yep.
we got Resident Evil
There's-
Survivor.
And then there's the Gun Survivor ones, which are just basically like based off of previous entries.
Right.
It's those are the ones where it's like arcade shooting, right? And it's
Yep.
yeah, it follows through the events of the games pretty much.
But like no, so there's the light gun games. Sorry if you hear my cat meowing. There's the light gun games, which are like, you know, they do condensed versions of like Resi 2 or 3, but then there's actually one that has a scenario that's like a prequel to RE4.
Yeah.
But then they got
Right.
the first Gun Survivor, which is like its own story, and then Gun Survivor 2 is like Code Veronica. Like, it's just a fucking shit show.
Yeah, that's like I'm literally looking at this list and I'm seeing, you know, because I used to always be confused whether there was multiple Code Veronica games, but I guess that's just answered that
There
for me.
there's Code Veronica, and then there's Code Veronica X, which has a bit more stuff.
Yeah, Code Veronica came
Right.
out on the Dreamcast. Code Veronica X came out on the PS2, I think,
Mhm.
and it was
I guess
the version.
Yeah, I guess what really confused me was just reading the title Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that just looks fucked. There's Dead Aim, and then there's Resident Evil. I'm just skimming through these because there's so much.
Yeah.
We got Resident Evil Outbreak and Resident
Awesome.
Evil.
Now, those games need to be remade.
Yeah, they're the ones. That
Everyone's
makes
calling for Veronica, Code Veronica. Fuck that. Outbreak.
Isn't
So what?
So Outbreak was originally a multiplayer Resident Evil game
Right.
where you would like team up with a couple of people. You'd all pick from characters who have their own like abilities and stuff and like specialties and all that kind of shit, and you'd go through scenarios. But it kind of died because there wasn't really any like chat functions that would work properly or anything like that.
I'm looking at it. It's on the PlayStation 2.
Yes, there is. You can play it on PC.
Right.
There
yeah.
are ways to play it online as well, but that game like is just it needs to be remade.
So don't you play as survivors in that? Like just
Yep.
regular people that aren't like Leon, Chris, all that?
Yeah, exactly. You don't play as any of those people, and those characters are canon. They are in the series. One of the characters is a reporter, and she's referenced in RE7. She's the one who writes the newspaper about the first people go missing.
Oh.
And like, yeah, so it's all canon. So I just think like now that you have the technology to the online like infrastructure to actually do this properly.
Yeah. Not PlayStation 2.
Nah, none of that shit. Like Resistance is cool, but I think competitive Resident Evil kind of always feels a bit weird.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that actually turns out a bit more than I am to see how RE3 turns out because I know that's just going to be good. But Resistance is like the unknown.
So
But
I know very little about Resistance, which is why I'm going. But from what I've seen, it looks very similar to Friday the 13th
that's
It's
yeah,
gonna
in terms
kind
of
of
like the
Dead by
concept.
Daylight Friday the 13th feel. I get more Dead by
yeah,
Daylight
kind of
from it.
because it's like you got the mastermind who's like certain characters from the series who can like place certain enemies and shit and do stuff, and you got the people just running around trying to survive. So yeah, I get what you mean by that. It's kind of
That's
like that.
that's what kind of got me interested in it because I was because I actually really enjoyed the brief time that I had playing Friday the 13th
Friday 13th is amazing.
back in the day. Yeah, Tom basically pressured me into buying it, and then I bought it, and I'm like, hey, this is actually fun.
Yep.
It's very intense,
It is,
intense.
yeah.
Holy shit!
But I don't think Resistance is going to be the same because I believe I'm not too sure that the mastermind only gets to control like the specialty tyrants kind of thing, and the rest of the time they're just planning stuff like
Yeah.
placing enemies and everything.
All right, so they're not like actually in the game.
No.
No, not all the time. The main focus is their planning
I
stuff.
could be
Right.
misremembering, but I think they can like possess like regular enemies, but
Yeah,
I'm not
probably
sure.
should figure that out before talking about it. But yeah, I
Welcome
think
to
so.
this
But
podcast. We're not
it's not the
professional.
main focus.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm keen to check it out. So and we're definitely going to be talking about that in the next podcast. So definitely keen to check that out. So yeah, there's a couple of those outbreaks. We've got Umbrella Chronicles in 2007 and Dark Side Chronicles. I'm assuming.
They're
They're the light gun
Yeah.
games, like House of
Right.
the Dead. All that kind of
Right.
shit, Time
Okay.
Crisis.
Yeah. So we got them. There's the Mercenaries 3D on the Nintendo 3DS.
Yep, I got that. I've played it a fair bit. It's pretty fun. It's just Mercenaries on the 3DS.
We got Revelations. Okay, now this is okay. This is where I'm gonna come in because I don't know anything about these games. I just know that they exist and I know what they're called because I see them everywhere. So we got Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2. Now, I remember seeing a review for that. Were these games like episodic?
Yes.
The second one was. The first one wasn't.
Was the first one?
Right.
Okay.
I'm-
I don't.
Oh wait, no, it was. Wait,
I'm gonna look it up right
Came
now.
on the 3DS, which kind of insinuates it wasn't.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was one game
Sorry.
because it did come out on the 3DS first.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. But Resident.
One nailed it, but the second one was episodic.
Well, it
But then they
says
just
here
released
for the
it.
first game that I mean, look, I don't know,
It's
like, but it does say.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it says, because it says the game features a single-player mode where the player must complete a series of episodes that
Yeah.
involve... But
Well, the
I'm assuming
episodes
what
are
you
the
mean
same.
is it's all together,
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
all there.
Like RE4 had chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With very similar kind of style. But Revelations 2 was just each, I think, couple of months or so, there was a
Yeah.
chapter released.
Because I do remember this is back in the days, back in the day when Good Game was on TV, and I used to, kind of watch that, and they kind of revisited Revelations 2 quite a bit back then. So yeah, that's what I know. And then there's so what's Revelations?
These are interquel games, like mid games. They explain how
Yeah.
what some characters are doing during another game, or what leads up to the
Right,
event in the game.
because I'm reading now that the first one's set between 4 and 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I see. Because I remember one of them. Oh yeah. Here we go. Claire Redfield. So that's Revelations 2.
So Claire Redfield and Barry Burton are the main characters, and Moira Burton, and a little girl whose name I don't remember.
Yeah. So there's those two. Now there's also there's a couple more on this list. Only a couple left. There is Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Which is a fun little what if scenario.
Was it okay? So it's a third person's
Tactical, third person like multiplayer shooter.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Basically.
multiplayer game. I remember because I couldn't really remember which was the one that people fucking hated, but I'm assuming that's Umbrella Corps.
No, they hated both.
Really?
Oh,
They hated Umbrella Corps more. But yeah, people hated Operation Raccoon City.
Huh.
But I think some have come around to it.
To be fair, when Umbrella Corps comes around, you can go back to anything.
Yeah, after that you're like, you know what? Operation Raccoon City wasn't that bad. It is like a it's just like a fan, what's it called?
Fan service?
Yeah, it's just fan service the game basically.
Right.
Like you run into Leon, Claire, you run into
Is that
Jill, you
one
fight
where-
Nemesis, you fight Birkin.
I doubt we care about spoilers for this game. That's the one where you get the choice to kill or save Leon at the end, right?
Leon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to choose between if you want to kill Leon or not.
Okay, so it's set around the time of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just the
Yeah.
Raccoon City incident. And you play
Right.
as like Umbrella Special Forces, I think, or something like that, and you're tasked with like getting some
So-
shit.
Yeah,
all that
so
kind
is
of
it
stuff.
like, because you guys said it was multiplayer, is it like co-op or
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
like...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think 4 players max?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I've got it. I really want to play it. I really
Yeah.
want to check it out. Because, like, again, I have no nostalgic attachment to the series.
It really helps in
Yeah.
playing them.
It does, because you're just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I see
You
everyone
appreciate
else
each
hating
one for
on
what they
something.
are.
I actually kind of like 6.
Yeah, and like, I want to play Survivor, like the first one on the PS1. Like, that looks fun. It's just some stupid, like, first-person shooter.
See, any attachment to the series going on, yeah, sure. If a game like 8 comes out and does something stupid, I'll be like, oh, okay. But
Yeah.
if I play any of the previous games, I'm like, okay.
But if it's Silent Hill, I get upset, even though I have no nostalgia for that. Like, that series, I fucking love it.
One through that.
Yeah, and then we also had the final one is, Umbrella Corps, and that's FPS, I'm assuming?
No,
Or is it
third-person multiplayer
person?
game that does have, like, some Iron Sight shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
It wasn't even called Resident Evil Umbrella Corps here. It was just called Umbrella Corps because they wanted to bury it that bad.
That was well and truly in the Resident Evil dry period. Before 7 came out, back when everything was considered shit.
So, is this the Metal Gear Survive of the Resident
Yes.
Evil series?
Oh, it's worse.
Okay.
Metal Gear Survive is like, from what I've heard, has fun moments in it.
It's serviceable in mechanics. I can't say it's serviceable anywhere else.
Yeah, like, but then you got Umbrella Corps, which is just broken trash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was very broken. I
I'm going to
remember
download
reviews
it. I'm
being
going
very
to play it at some point.
Fair enough. So that's the basic the games pretty much. All right. Now we're not going to go into fucking everything, but one thing I do.
In there, I am insulted.
Yeah, we kind of just stick that. We could just kind of skip past it. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about that then, because we kind of started talking about Survivor and just kind of skipped it.
Gaiden is the single greatest fucking Resident Evil game to ever exist on the Game Boy Color. Also, probably the only one. I could be wrong there.
You are wrong. There was a prototype
Really?
that you can go play. It was a remake of the original Resident Evil.
Oh, you're right.
That would eventually come out on the DS, and the DS version is regarded as the best version of that game.
Deadly Silence does look interesting.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Okay, so this is what I'm reading on it now. So it's from the top-down perspective, being Game Boy Color. Story revolves around viral outbreak on a passenger ship and has Leon and Barry as protagonists. So it's basically one of those Australian cruise ships that are kind of stuck out.
Basically, it's
Sure.
Coronavirus the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So topical, so great.
I mean, that's just the whole Resident Evil saga, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. But the gameplay is what's like makes people hate that game so much. It's like the combat is just
So the combat goes into an
weird.
almost turn-based system, where you still have...
Right.
And it has this weird little bar where a line goes left and right, and it has a target in the center. To hit the enemy dead on, you gotta obviously press A right as you get in that target zone, and then you do proper damage. It's fucking weird mechanically, but
But the problem is like you also have the limited items that series is known for, coupled with a combat mechanic that is purely based on timing, and apparently the timing is weird.
It is, yeah.
So it's kind of like you're fucked, no matter what you do. And Leon's also a monster by the end of that game too. Spoilers for Resident Evil Gaiden.
Wow, that game that I'm never gonna play.
Yeah.
You can 100% call Gaiden non-canon.
I did watch a video series though. It's a really good video series on the history of Resident Evil, where it basically just goes, everything's canon, let's just do it. And they do include Gaiden as well. And I'm like, you fucking mad lad.
But the thing I like about Gaiden is I have a my first gaming device was a Game Boy Color. So I have a very large nostalgic factor towards any Game Boy Color aesthetic, and I really like the aesthetic of that game.
Yeah, it looks sick. It actually does look sick. Like, I love how that game looks, but I'm very interested to check it out. Just to see what the hell it is.
That is the question.
And before we move away from the games, is there a Resident Evil, like there was a because obviously we got Resident Evil 3 coming out, but wasn't there like a leak or something for Resident Evil 8 or something?
There's rumors and air quotes leak.
Yeah, right, okay.
It's supposed that it's going to be first person game, which I actually do hope for. I like patterns in games.
And it kind of separates it from the remake series as well.
I want a trilogy of first person games. I am one of those OCD people where it's like trilogy sounds good. We had the free survival horrors, the free action games, let's go free first person games for the hell of it.
How are you gonna feel that the 3 remakes, one of them's fixed camera, the rest are...
Let's just ignore that, okay? That doesn't have to be known.
So at this time, because like I didn't even look into it really. I just remember seeing something or other at some point. So at this time, there is really no.
It's gonna
confirmed like.
That's why I don't think it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been early stages of development, maybe.
I mean, early stages of Resident Evil
dogs have played a part, but I doubt it's fucking real.
Early stages of Resident Evil 4 were a fucking fever dream.
So where do you think then, like, what do you think, I mean, not what do you think, but what would you like to see next, like...
I want to see Ethan again. I want Ethan to grow as a character, but then again, that causes the typical thing that most Resident Evil fans hate, making it action-based. Because he'll be adept at things, and they'll be like, oh, fuck. So, yeah.
Yeah... I don't know. I kind of want to see what everyone else has been up to. That's my thing. Like, what's Jill? What's Claire?
Yeah.
You know, what have they been up to? Where's Barry? Like,
Jill's been on
all these characters
for fucking like 10 years now.
Yeah. After 5, she's like, "Nah, I'm done with all this bullshit."
And it's funny because you keep finding pages of her going, "I can't wait to get back out in the field," and you're like, "It's been like 5 years since the last game. What's going on?"
Yeah. And like some of this, like I know Sheva isn't really a popular character, but I just kind of want to know. I don't want a game maybe centered around them, but I just want to know what's happening.
Like you at least find out what happens to Rebecca in the movies, in the animated movies.
In the movies, she becomes a little professor.
Yeah, which is pretty neat. It kind of fits her character.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna jump into because like for me, would you like to see the whole remake thing continue after 3?
Yes.
Wouldn't mind seeing Code Veronica done.
Yeah,
I'd like a new Outbreak entry, not necessarily a remake, but just a new one.
Yeah. So what you guys are thinking, like more of like the spin-off type stuff, and kind of just do a bit of that.
Because I don't think Resident Evil 4 is quite ready for a remake.
Oh, people are calling for it. I'm like, there's no need. It works perfectly the way that it is.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, and just bear in mind, like, I'm not really a big Resident Evil player person, but like, just because I'm jumping on the series now, I personally wouldn't mind a Resident Evil 4 remake, because I also don't have a power cable for my PS2, so...
Just get the PS4 version.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm
I
definitely keen to play some Resi 4, whether that be a remake or the original. Doesn't really worry me too much.
The only reason I would
Um,
want a Resident Evil 4 remake is to update Leon's character model.
Oh, see, I have no problem. I have no problem.
I
I have a thing for PS2, PS1 era graphics though, so I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
see my favorite Leon model is the remake model.
Oh, his little boy band face that he's got going.
yeah, I was gonna say he looks. I don't like that at all.
Pretty boy in the apocalypse. Let's go.
Yeah.
um, but I do like. Yeah, I would be keen to play some more Resi 4 because I remember really enjoying playing it at the time. I just
It
never...
is really good. Like,
But my
I know
focus...
that game gets hyped up as fuck, but it is.
Yeah.
There is a reason why.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all the games. There is one other aspect I want to quickly talk about, and that is the animated films.
Thank God we're not going for the live action films again.
No,
Yeah,
I wasn't
good.
doing that. If we were to do that, that would be
We've already
a
done that.
separate
That was like
thing
the
altogether.
second episode.
Yeah. Also, I have a whole video on it, so, just go watch that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
We
fine.
pretty much plugged that entire video, that entire episode there.
Yeah. But we've got through, there's 3 currently. There's the only one that I've seen is Resident Evil Degeneration.
There's Degeneration, Damnation, and Vendetta.
Yeah. And I remember because we were living together when you watched Vendetta. And I believe you said to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's alright.
Yeah, you said it was
think
good,
it's-
and you said I should watch it. I haven't watched Damnation
It's silly.
yet either.
It's so silly. Like, it has John Wick gun fighting. Like, there's 2 men literally martial arts with guns.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. And they cure zombieism.
Oh, okay.
People who are already zombies, so...
Is Vendetta the one where Leon's an absolute fucking alcoholic?
Yep.
Just need to on
Yep.
that one.
So, Damnation, I'm pretty sure, is the one with Claire and Leon. Set in an airport.
Yes, I've mostly seen that one. I've not fully watched any of them, but I've mostly seen that one.
It's fine. It exists. It doesn't look great.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a bit iffy looking.
Wasn't it released to coincide with Resi 6?
Maybe?
Like,
I don't know.
A few weeks before. I'm just reading. Hang on, I'm on the wiki now.
Oh.
It says here that the end credits of the film display clips from Resident Evil 6, which was released a few weeks before the film on October 2nd.
Okay.
It's all the anime movies have this weird uncanny valley.
It's actually, it says it's a sequel to Degeneration and a prequel to Resident Evil 6.
It's a sequel to Degeneration?
Yeah, sequel and a prequel to Resi 6. So I didn't even know there was a prequel to Resi 6 until just reading it then. I just thought, like, I thought it was a sequel.
Evil 5? God damn it, Ben.
What?
It's a numbered series. Of course 5 is the prequel to 6.
No, I'm talking about this specifically. That's what I mean. I don't mean, like, the fucking order of the series. Jeez. Settle down. Fuck. I'm talking about, like, this is, like, it's a direct prequel to 6.
Don't make me go nerdrotic on you. I'll do this. Let me get the shitty glasses and beard.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that. I don't want to deal with that. But yeah, so I've only seen Degeneration. So what you're saying is Damnation is
Damnation's fine. I think Degeneration's the worst.
Well, that's the only one I've seen. So
like, again, it's fine. It looks a lot better than the first one. Again, stars Leon. All of them fucking star Leon.
yeah, I'm literally looking at that now. They all have Leon in it.
Yeah, Leon's in every single... Because Leon's...
Leon is the Ezio
poster
of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And then there's Vendetta, which is, I'm reading here, has Chris and Rebecca in it as well.
Yes, they are in it.
And I remember from what I see, like, Vendetta actually looked really good. Like, in terms of, like, the visuals of it, it looked a lot better.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing some clips from that or the trailer or whatever and being like, wow, fuck, the lighting's really good in this.
Yeah, they do. It is a massive improvement. As I said, it's silly. It's over the top action bullshit. It's silly as hell.
It's like, I actually have Vendetta on my hard drive. I should
You should
watch
watch
it.
it.
I
Yeah, you
really want to
should.
watch it now.
Which one's the one with there's a fight outside. Leon's getting chased by a fucking tyrant, and then there's a dude who controls liquors or something. Ah,
Degeneration.
nice.
Yeah, that one has the guy, yeah, controlling liquors.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and that one has Ada Wong in it as well. Who's just Ada? Just Ada Wong.
Can't spell Leon without Ada. Don't question it.
So,
But yeah, they're all like, again, they're not offensively bad. They're not amazing. They're perfectly just watchable movies.
yeah, I kind of want to watch them because I remember back in the day because I knew that the Degeneration, obviously, because back then the only thing I was really familiar with was the films. So like I knew it wasn't part of that. I knew it was the game. So I remember watching it at the time and I was being like, oh, this is pretty cool. I should play the games. We all know how that turned out.
Yes.
But yeah, I never watched the other one, but I did have an interest in watching Vendetta because it looks pretty cool. So I might actually watch that sometime. I've got it on a hard drive.
Yeah, it doesn't really spoil anything.
That's okay. Well,
I
it
think.
says here set between 6 and 7 or some shit.
I think it sets up.
Story set between 6 and 7.
Oh. Yeah, don't worry. Anything they set up in that movie never happens in 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything in these films to directly relate to the games at all. To be honest,
6 is completely batshit enough that spoiling it is a miracle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I might watch those. I might give them a go. That might be a bit of fun. I mean, you know what? Like, once I've finished editing this film, since my work hours have been cut significantly and I'm literally doing nothing else,
You should probably fucking play the games first.
Yeah.
I'll finish. No, my priorities is 2, 3, and then I'll watch the films, and then I'll consider playing some of the other games. But
Okay,
I might be all over it by that point in time, so we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
hey, if you ever want to get online, I'll play 5 and 6 with you. It's
Yeah,
better to play
they're
co-op with
far
those
away.
games.
Yeah. Maybe I might finish 5 one day. We'll see what happens. My like I said, my focus is finishing 2 and then playing 3. That's it. Beyond that, we'll see what happens. Although I do want to watch these films, so I might just mainly Vendetta. I don't know. Never really seen anything of the other one, but I do want to watch Vendetta. So
They only go for like an hour and a half.
I'll probably just do that at some point. Yeah. And lastly, quick thing. So there's the Resident Evil TV show happening.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Netflix.
Yeah, do you think that's gonna be like Witcher and that, and be based off the games, or what would you like to see? Or,
They said it's set in the universe, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's like its own thing.
Yeah. Have they said anything about whether or not the game characters will be in it?
I don't think they are,
No.
from what I've seen so far.
Hmm.
I'm assuming there'll be references or whatever, and there may be a couple of characters here and there, but I think they're taking what I think's the smarter route and just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, trying to make it like the games. Like, even though I would love a series set in, like, first seasons in the Arklay Mansion, second seasons in Raccoon City. Yeah, like, apparently they're doing, I don't know, something in a hospital, I think, or something. Pretty sure they have like a small plot synopsis out, but that's about all we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just looked at, because I just searched up Resident Evil TV series. There's a web series or a thingy, reimagined first hour. Have you seen that?
No, I think, isn't that like Resi 2?
Yeah, it's a reimagined prequel to Resi 2.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's like a full web series or just one thing, but Rossatron did a video on it.
I might have to do a video on it. Fuck.
Just adding more content.
It's never over.
There's more shit.
But yeah, that's our comment. That's our thing on Resident Evil, I guess. I don't think there's much more
There's
really to talk
thing.
about. So
Completely unrelated to Resident Evil, that you saying there was a TV series of that coming out. They announced a TV series of Last of Us, right?
yeah.
Yes, HBO.
And they've said that they're keeping Ellie's sexuality intact, which means they're doing it based on the games.
Yeah, they're
Oh
doing
no.
the
Do we
games
know
on that one.
who's
Yeah.
acting? Who's playing?
No idea.
No, they haven't announced anything
I'm terrified
for it
whenever
really.
people are like, yeah, this is who's playing a video game character. Because I'm like, oh, that doesn't work at all.
So that's the scary part. It's like, yeah, it never lives up to like what's in your head.
And then then there's all the fan castings who are like, I want Hugh Jackman as Joel. I'm like, what?
That would be kind of
We've
cool. I
already
mean, we got Wolverine. Was it
yeah,
Logan, which is
we've
basically
already
lots
had
of the
Logan.
movie.
We've already had that. It's literally the same thing, just without the zombies.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to all of these things.
Yeah, not gonna
They were
complain.
gonna do a They were gonna do. There was an announcement back fucking years ago of a Life is Strange series, and just nothing's ever
Same
happened
with
of it.
It's like most game shit.
the guy who said the guy who did Castlevania on Netflix was like, yeah, I'm also going an Assassin's Creed one. I'm like, oh fuck yes, I'm ready. And then that has not shown up since he said that.
Yeah, yeah. The only that's all good. We're still getting The Last of Us at some point. I'm looking forward to The Witcher season 2. Like when it comes to video game, I think video games could translate a lot better to a TV series than I think trying to do a film.
Yeah.
I think doing a series it's just a better option. You can, and I mean personally, I think TV series are better than films anyway, in the sense that you have a lot more time and kind of to flesh things out and really do deep dives on the lore and really do things and establish things. But the downside of TV is, of course, you can just be canned at any time. You know, it's like it's one of those things where you're like, you could start something and then you never get to finish it. Well, at least with a 2-hour film, you can tell your story, and even though it's not as fleshed out, you know, you can get it done, and it's done. You know,
Yeah.
like you get it finished. So it's one of those things, but you know. I mean, personally, I prefer writing in like storytelling in TV just purely for that reason, because you have the space to do it. But I also don't like TV shows that go on for too long, which is ironic considering that Doctor Who's gone on forever. But like, I mean, like certain shows like Orphan Black, for example, which is actually my favorite show. Like Doctor Who isn't my favorite show. Orphan Black is. Orphan Black did 5 seasons, and at 5 seasons, they finished it. They ended the story because they were like, you know, it's done. And in my view, like that show ended on a real high. And I think shows that end earlier end on, you know, if when they know the right time to end, they end on a high. When they just keep going, they just end up getting shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel that with Breaking Bad actually, which is a real controversial take. I think the end of season
mm,
4 was the perfect place to end Breaking Bad.
yeah. I've definitely found that with some shows that I've watched that like you could end the show like that's why I was always kind of against Clone Wars coming back, because like I'm not like against it like I'm pretty keen to watch it when the series is finished so I can watch the rest, but I never bothered watching season 6 of Clone Wars because to me season 5, the way that series ends, I'm not sure if you're up to that yet, Lewin, or
I already
not,
know,
but
spoiled it.
yeah, okay, so like the way that ends with Ahsoka leaving and all of that, like to me that is the end of that show. You know, like there's nothing more to tell in that show. But then they do a season 6, and then now they're doing the final season, which is season 7. And I know they always planned that. Like they always planned to do. I think they originally planned 8 seasons. But like just to me, the way that ends, it's such an emotional ending and such like something that really like I was fucking crying at a fucking children's show.
It kind of feels
That's
The
really
way.
stunted as well because fucking Rebels also came out as a continuation of Clone Wars in a way.
Yeah, because like Rebels is a continuation of Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
it's a continuation of Ahsoka's story a lot of the way.
Yeah, and Darth Maul's story and all that.
It was
But
weird
like,
to jump back into the middle of that.
yeah, it is odd jumping back. But like, I just never had an interest in season 6 because to me, like, Ahsoka is what made the Clone Wars. Like, she was a big part of that show. So, and plus also season 6, like, the show was cancelled before season 6 came out. So season 6 is really just the leftover stuff that they had made that they hadn't really released. Like, it wasn't even a full series. It was just here's some stuff. And season 6 kind of tied up a lot of the loose end storylines that they had set up, and it kind of explored the whole Order 66 thing, but it never kind of really, so I just wasn't interested in watching it. And then now season 7's going to properly wrap that show up, so I'm pretty excited to watch that. But at the same time, you could have just left it at series 5 and I would be personally happy with that. But yeah, and then Rebels, I think Rebels ended at a good time. But that's like what I'm kind of saying. Like, I think, I think Supernatural's another show that kind of had that little period of time.
No, it can go on forever and ever and do no wrong.
Well, no, what I mean is, like, I agree with that statement. Obviously they're not, they're finishing up. But I do agree with that statement. They could just keep making that show forever and ever. But I do believe there was a time...
Season 5.
Yes, season 5 is the ending of that show. Like, everything that happens after that doesn't matter because that is the ending of the story.
You know,
but here's the
Scooby-Doo's story isn't a part of the main line.
I love Supernatural so much.
I love that show a lot too, yeah. But, like, for me, like, season 6 and 7 and 8 just kind of really dropped the ball and just... I don't think it was good. I'm gonna go on record and say season 6 and 7 aren't good. They're bad.
Is that the one with the Leviathans and shit?
Season 7 is the Leviathan. Season 6 is the whole storyline where Sam loses his soul.
Yeah, and Castiel's like, "Oh, I'm fighting heaven."
Yeah. Castiel becomes this fucking antagonist and like just gets what he fucking deserves.
But we get Crowley.
We do get Crowley. Crowley is amazing.
So we can't dismiss those seasons completely because we get
I don't dismiss the season. They're still bad, but we do have Crowley. But I do like from season 8 that show kind of started to get a bit better. But I don't know what it's like beyond season 10 because I've only seen... Oh no, hang on, no, I've watched season 11 as well. Okay, so beyond season 11 I can't comment on, but I got back into that show with like season 8. Kind of with season 8, mainly with season 9, and season 10, from memory, I think was the one where they did the whole Dean as a demon thing, a demon, as they said. I think that was season 10, and then I watched season 11, and I did start watching season 12, which is where the mother comes back. So like, yeah, like that's kind of where I'm up to, but I feel like Supernatural is one of those shows like you could have ended it at 5, and I think the legacy of that show would have been a lot stronger than what it is now. And by the way, that show has a great legacy. It's got a massive fan base, all that kind of stuff. The only reason it's done 15 seasons is because of the fan base. Like, let's be real. Because that show has faced being cancelled so many times. And they've went to end that show so many times. Like, they announced season 9 was going to be the final season. Then they did season 10. They announced that was going to be the final season. And here we are 5 years later, and we're on season 15, which is 16. Now the final season. Oh, we're doing season 16. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, isn't it? Fuck.
I started rewatching Supernatural.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I've never actually watched. I've got 3 episodes left in season 1, and then I've seen 2 episodes. That's what I've watched of Supernatural.
Oh, season 2 and 3 are so good.
Such a good
I'm actually
show.
actively watching it, so it's not like where I just dropped it.
Yeah, like the early seasons, like mainly specifically season 1 was very much kind of a monster of the week kind of formula.
I kind of like it that way.
Yeah, they did, but by the way, they do continue that on throughout the show, but as the show kind of progresses, it starts to become less about the monster of the week and more about the overarching plot of the season.
Basically, Sam and Dean can never communicate.
That's literally what happens.
If they just talk to each other,
just talk
everything
to each
would
other.
be fine.
It's literally every season there's always that one episode where they just won't tell each other anything, and then that just goes on for like ever, and then they finally tell each other the stuff later on. Like, I remember it's happened several times in the show where like Sam has just left. Sam is like, I am done with you, and leaves, and then there's like 2 episodes with Dean on his own and Sam's off doing his own thing, and then they just come back together. And it's like, it's
perfect.
Like,
amazing show.
Yeah, that's what Supernatural does. It literally repeats the same character arcs over and over and over again, just with different context.
Still my favorite episode of all times, where they jump through the window and end up being on the stage of Supernatural.
Yeah, and then
amazing.
Themselves. Yeah, so like at this stage you're at, Lewin, with season 1, they don't do like silly episodes, but they started doing
that
just
much.
silly episodes. Like,
First one was like with the trickster, and then it just goes from there.
yeah, there was the Trickster where they were in the reality TV shows.
TV shows.
They're in all the TV shows. Yeah, I love the bit where they're like in CSI and like Dean, they're putting the glasses on and like that kind of CSI music plays and it's all in slow motion and then it's just all the one-liners after everything. And then there's the sitcom bit as well. And I love the intro to that episode because it's just that sitcom intro of them just like having fun and getting
What's the one where
spooked.
he's like, I have genital herpes?
Yeah, it's the general. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like part of the line and like I have Jenna and it's like
Say
I
the
love it.
line.
Yeah, and then he comes in and he's like got the big ass fucking sandwich. And it's like, what have you been doing? It's like, I've been doing research. All kinds of research all night. And then the chick walks out in like just walks out and is like, oh, Dean, you have some more research to do. And Sam's face is just, it's amazing. It's like the greatest
That's
thing.
the part of that episode I've seen.
And it's like, son of a bitch. Oh, it's great. But yeah, then they did that episode in, I think it was season 6 or 7. Can't remember which one it was in, but it was, they go through the like mirror or whatever, the window thing, and they end up in a parallel universe type thing where they're on the set of Supernatural and they're the actors. They're not Sam and Dean Winchester. So you've got everyone calling them by their real name, and in the episode they're meant to hate each other, and everyone's like confused that they're talking to each other because it's incredible. It's amazing. In fact, Supernatural is now officially a thing that exists in the DC cinematic, not DC cinematic universe, but the DC universe now. Not as like an actual Supernatural exists, as in the show Supernatural is canon in like the
Cool.
DC universe. So it's just a fun little thing that happened recently. So I don't know. There was an episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and they went to this thing, and then the Winchester's car was there, and they opened up the back of it, and it had all the weapons and things. But it turns out, like, because everyone was excited for like a Legends of Tomorrow Supernatural crossover, but it turns out it was just they went to this place where they were shooting Supernatural, and Supernatural is a TV show in the DC universe. So
Cool.
yeah, that's like a fun.
So it's
I
like
don't know.
that, and also it's a real thing in Scooby Doo. So
Yeah.
good. And Scooby Doo is in the Batman universe,
Yeah. So
so
it all kind of
Supernatural-
works out.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, very soon they'll be tying it in with Resident Evil.
Oh, that'd be fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, if the show wasn't ending, what would you say if like what would you do with the next Resident Evil game? Doesn't matter what it is after remakes, just fucking Sam and Dean just turn.
Why
up
would you?
and you're
Why
just
would I
like,
even? Why even asking me that? Of course, I'd be fucking down.
That'd be
kidding me?
great.
I'd love it.
Yeah, I feel like just Supernatural could cross over with anything. It's
Yeah,
fine.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You do it with fucking
Anyway.
Care Bears. Get the Trickster to do some bullshit. I think he's dead now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't
Nah,
know.
Trickster's dead now. Yeah.
Even though he's living in the porno.
No, he's dead.
He came back from the porno. So remember when everyone thinks he's because he's an angel.
Yeah.
He's Gabriel. Shit.
Okay.
No, let's not get into the fucking lore of Supernatural because we'd be here for so long.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, because I was about to say we kind of got on a bit of a tangent there. Like, this is what I mean. Like, it literally came from us talking about the Last of Us TV show and talking about how shows should end, and then we just start talking about Supernatural.
I will
Like,
say it's your fault.
it is my fault. Like, I am literally the one that creates these tangents, and then it just happens. You know, it's the way we work. Anyway, we better wrap it up.
We kept it under 3 hours this time. That's an A plus.
Yeah,
That
thanks,
is good.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Think-
you kept it under 3 hours this time.
Yeah, I'm glad too because I'm really fucking hungry and I have no food, so I have
So
to
I
go
literally
shopping for
got
food.
off work and I was like, okay, so we doing this? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll wrap it up. So that's exciting. Our first gaming episode. We've got several more to come up with.
We have no movies in the coming months, so
Yeah, everything's just cancelled, so it's literally just video games
And
for a
egg roll.
while. But yeah, we'll go more in depth on Resident Evil 3 at a later stage. We'll do like some first impressions and stuff next episode, but we will go more in depth later on down the line, whenever that is. But yeah, next episode we're going to be doing Scott Pilgrim, which is exciting, which is kind of a video gamey type thing,
100%
I guess.
It's like a love letter
Yeah.
to video games.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to talk about that because like that's one of like Edgar Wright is my favorite director,
He's pretty fucking fantastic.
and so I'm just excited to talk about that. Like I did a whole school project last year. We had to pick a director and just like do a big thing about them. Like we had to make our film kind of mixing their style with our own, and then we had to like make some video essays and things on them. So I did Edgar Wright. My film didn't turn out Edgar Wrighty at all. The only thing that turned out Edgar Wrighty was the concept of extreme close-ups in very rapid succession, which I did a bit of that. But other than that, that was about it. But yeah, I really keen. I like talking about, and it gives me an excuse to watch Scott Pilgrim.
Exactly, likewise.
As if I need an excuse.
Like
for
you
it.
said when you messaged me about it, you don't need an excuse.
Yeah, you don't need an excuse. Just fucking watch it. That feels so good. I do want to. I can't wait to talk about Baby Driver as well because I absolutely love that movie. Have you seen Baby Driver yet, Tom? Because I remember you weren't gonna watch it because the whole Kevin Spacey thing.
I don't want to talk about Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I know.
Because House of Cards is one of my favorite shows of all time. I watched half of it.
Yeah,
It's long.
it's good though.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good. It's just very, very long.
Yeah.
So
That's-
I think I was staying at my mother's house and I was watching it there. And I don't know, went to bed, never watched it again.
Oh, please finish it. It's such a good film. Plus, also with the whole Kevin Spacey thing, though, there's a bit of catharsis there.
Good. It's just,
Yep.
I'll never forgive him for ruining season fucking 5 or 6 of House of Cards. Like, not for
Yeah.
the terrible crimes that he may or may not have committed. The fact that I
Not
didn't
for
get a
those
fucking
things.
conclusion to my favorite show.
Oh, and then the thing about Kevin Spacey is he just keeps making it worse for himself.
He keeps pretending to be the fucking character from House of
Yeah,
Cards.
like I
Stop
remember
it.
seeing that. I remember seeing that video he did, where he was playing that character from House of Cards, and
He's done 2.
yeah, and I was like watching it, going, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I'm pretty sure he was talking about the whole.
Yeah, he
thing
was talking
of
about
him-
like being innocent and shit like that. And
Yeah, but I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you are not helping your case
Yeah,
here. Like,
stop it.
stop. Ah, well, it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what we're doing next episode. And then, yeah, we'll plan some other stuff for some later episodes. And Tom, you're more than welcome to come back on whenever you like.
thank you, I'd love to. Just maybe next time earlier during the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only reason we did it now is because you said you were working, so...
Well, just blame him.
Well, you're the guest. We work around your schedule.
Well, I reckon you should totally do like a Silent Hill movie.
Silent Hill.
When I
Yeah,
played,
Silent Hill movie. There's only 2 movies, guys.
Oh yeah, 2 movies. Well, we could do that. Like, I mean, I definitely love to like watch some. Like, I remember suggesting back a while back doing the Assassin's Creed film, but then because I was like, oh god, I hate that film. Then Lewin's like, oh, you know what? I actually kind of like that. And I was like, oh,
I
we can't do
stand by
this now.
that.
We can't do this now. We can't talk about a shitty film because you kind of like it.
No, you
I just want to
read
get
the
really,
shit
really.
on it.
I just want you guys to see the contrast of me praising the first film and then just completely destroying the second film.
Yeah, kind of like me with the Tomb Raider films.
I still haven't watched that new one.
The new one's so good.
I heard it's not that good, but okay.
Yeah,
No, all of
Nah.
that is wrong.
Just-
It's good. Okay. It's better than Tomb Raider 2 with Angelina
okay,
Jolie.
let's stop this
so.
before he gets on a tangent about Tomb Raider.
But yeah, so that's what we got coming up. Tom, is there anything you'd like to plug besides your YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel,
It will once again be
Yeah.
down in the description.
Sunderland. Yep, and
Yeah, the link will be below. Yep.
fucking better be. No, it's okay. And you can follow me on Twitter at Sunderland Spook if you want. That's it.
Yep.
That's all I got.
There's
Not
some.
plugging my Patreon or anything, even though I just kind of inadvertently did
Yeah.
by accident.
All the links will be below.
Cool. Let
Apart from
me.
your
I want to know
Patreon.
if anyone like. I want to know people who come from here just to be like these fucking guys.
But yeah, Lewin has nothing to plug.
I
He has
As
his
usual.
podcast to plug.
no, I I
Yeah.
have nothing.
Yeah. I don't really have much to plug either, other than go watch my new Tomb Raider
Yeah,
video.
go
I
to-
put a lot of work into it. It's about 3 months of work, so please go and watch that.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. It's
No.
fine, but
Fuck off.
you can if you want. It's
Yeah.
it's good. It spoils the entire game, but it's
Cool.
okay.
Never gonna play him, so it's fine.
Oh, that's good then. Yeah. I like because I do a very skill up thing where I spend like the first 10-15 minutes of the video talking about but I it's on topic. It's not an analogy. I'm just talking about the previous games in the series.
As long as you don't compare them to like restaurant food, we're fine.
No, I'm not comparing them to
Fine.
Diet to Coke.
Good old skill.
But yeah, other than that, I do have Twitter. I never use it, so don't bother. But I do have an Instagram, BWhiteFilm. You can follow me on there, which I barely post on, but that's kind of like my film account. And I also do have a gaming one as well called Rebel Croft, where I uploaded some Jill Valentine stuff on there as well.
Ooh,
from the Resident Evil 3 remake.
I don't have Instagram, so
You're missing out on my amazing content. Oh, no. It's fine.
it's fine.
It's fine. Anyway, this has all turned into a bit of a shit show of an outro, so we're just going to end it here. So, thank you guys so much for
It is
watching.
now 8 o'clock.
Because-
This has been Prime News, and Prime Possum's telling everyone to go the fuck to sleep.
Prime Possum went to sleep half an hour
Actually,
ago.
Prime Possum did go to sleep half an
Everyone-
hour ago, but
Possum's
yeah.
example.
But yeah, so this is only going to be available on YouTube, so I guess thank you for watching and that. And if you are listening to this on Spotify, it means I've managed to somehow figure life out, and I actually can pay to have this. Assuming everything doesn't turn to shit and I lose my job completely, this may be back up on Spotify at some time in the near future. But until then,
For a financial uncertainty.
until then, it's just on YouTube because YouTube is free. And that's just the way it is. But I think that's a good point to end it. So thanks so much, Tom, for being on. Thanks, Lauren,
anytime.
as always. And yeah, we'll catch you all guys next
Catch
time.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.